Hoy landlubbers, it's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. We returned from spring break. Woo, spring break. Oh, shoot, we got hype chest and chat. Now, I don't know if that's gonna open itself. God, I really hate that this game works this way. If you like tab into or out of the game, it just like blows up my whole computer. Okay, I can do that later, I guess. I don't know. Welcome, Katan. It's resub o'clock. It's that time of month, or it may have been that time of month, last week. Anyway, hi everyone. Um, so yes, so for those keen-eyed plush enjoyers in chat, there are some new ones. My mom provided many when I visited last week for Easter. There was one in particular that I requested, and those who pay needlessly close attention to things may recall back in, God, I don't know, February or something. Um, and I said like, oh man, I just saw like a list of what the spring squishmallows were for the year, and there's one that I absolutely need, and it was this one. Her name is Sybil. She is a big, beautiful bee. She comes in only large size, but what is important is that she is a bee wearing a flower crown, which those of you who are familiar with Resonance of Fate is the game that most people know me for playing at all. Is really important. It's the BFF. There's like a weird mission where you have to impress a guy by outdecking yourself totally in casual fashion, and part of that is like she puts on one of your characters puts on like face paint to look like a flower, and then puts on like a headband with flowers on it with a giant like cartoon bee at the front, and it's called the BFF, and you can wear it all the time after you do that. And this like it's like our signature move is even on the chat badges, the sub badges. The little narwhals have BFFs on them, and they made a squishmallow that is a bee with a flower crown on it. Like you can't get any closer than that. It's very good. No Pokemon on display here. A first for you. I mean, there's a Sandshrew like right there at the top, but also like I got a lot of Easter things, and so it's kind of rabbity. But yeah. Uh, Also, yeah, it tickles me a little that Sybil's also like a common name to our experience last year replaying through the Sam and Max Telltale games. Uh, I'd forgotten how much that character drops off in the third season, and it's yet another reason why that season is not as good as two, although two is the best, which is complicated. Anyway, hi, hello everyone. Hello to Demolition and Neko and Cotillion and Keen, and of course, as always, my mom in chat. Hello, hi mom. Ooh, that's a great question. What is my favorite Sybil job? I feel like there is a clear answer to that. There was. I kind of liked when she became the Queen of Canada. That was pretty good. I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure what my favorite job is. There's like one episode where like they managed to make like two of her jobs relevant in the same episode, and I really like that turn. It was I forget off the top of my head exactly what it is, but like it's like something, and then like they just like crossed out one of the words and like repurposed it to something extremely similar, and it was just like a good like wordplay thing. Thanks to everyone for it, the hype train and the gift sub demolition. Which symbol is this? The one who married Abraham Lincoln's head. Um, I mean, she's mostly in the first two like Telltale series. Not so much in the third. But like, yeah, she's like the one woman character who appears regularly up until Stinky shows up, who's not as good. Stinky's fine. Um, Gosh, what? Wow, I wish I could remember what that is because I thought it was really clever the second time I played it. I don't remember if I appreciated it the first time. want to say it might have been whichever episode had her being like the matchmaker, and then I think like I can't remember. Um. Anyway, hi. So last week was Easter. I spent the weekend at my parents. Ended up with a giant bee. Good times. There's also just some other stuff around that's new. You might notice some of it not so new. Like Donut Dragon's been here for like years. That sounds right. Doesn't feel right, but it sounds right. Um, yeah. Surely Pokemon will return once. It's less emphasis on Easter. I had to struggle. I really wanted to have Giant Vaporeon out still, because the big Sleeping Eevee pod was only around for one weekend. But I couldn't get it to work with the giant bee, and it was really important to me to show off the bee. Yeah, I was really excited about it. Like no one showed up last week. It was like three of us here, and I was like, "Well, I'm excited about Vaporeon." I had a whole. I put all the sleeping Eevees together, and you couldn't see anything past them. They were an entire wall. Uh, Gotta catch them all. Yeah. So as of today, they put out. I think it was today. They put out the pre-sales for the like quote unquote like Pokedex life-size plush, which is a really weird line where they basically made like enormous. So like the sleeping Eevees are like giant. They're very big, but like now they have ones that are like twice as big as those, kind of like roughly speaking. Um, and they're like hundreds of dollars, whereas like those were like 50 or something, like 40 or 50 new. And now it's just really big. I posted to my Blue Sky to tempt fate, and I said if I could get 400 reposts, I would buy the $400 thing because then I felt like I could justify it as there being enough interest in me having it on the stream that I could write it off on my taxes, which would be helpful and stupid. But yeah, I have all the I have Eevee and the three Kanto evolutions now. I think I have like a photo of when I set that up that I can put on the Discord later if I remember, which I won't. Um, but yeah, Easter was a good time. We managed to watch like two, not exactly two entire seasons. My family had been due to finish watching through The Traders, which is like one of our favorite gathering activities of recent years. It's a social deduction like game show. This like become sort of a global thing, and even though we only had a couple episodes left of the series we started earlier in the year when they started running it, we managed to remember that like the UK wrapped up a season like around that time, which meant it was available to watch now. Um, if you're not going to see the Vaporeon, I'm probably not getting up right now. Maybe later. It's just all the way in the. It's all the way in the me getting up, and I already am not starting the stream. Uh, yeah, I don't have that many interesting things to say. I don't know where you all are in your lives. It's really, oh God, it's such a struggle. Like I'm really like suffering real bad. Justin, welcome. You're just in time for me to be sad for a minute. How are you? Listen, you can listen. If you don't want to think about how much everything sucks, just look at Sybil, the BFF. Just focus on that for a couple minutes. Uh, don't suffer. Like here's the problem, right? Like reality is bad. For us Americans, it's especially a really bad time. But like American politics definitely affect everyone. It's bad and it sucks. And I don't want to like litigate the ethics of everything. Although if I did, everyone would be guilty of crimes, and I hate it. Um, I have many of you have been on this journey called life with me for long enough that you know that like I have spent like over a decade now trying to improve myself and my behavior and the way I react to things with a particular emphasis on my own depression. But like part of that has been the understanding that some people claim that they work best under pressure or stress, and I've never, ever, ever been that way. Um, in fact, it was really devastating on a personal level when I graduated college and had such a hard time finding work that like not only was it a struggle to like apply for jobs, but like also I just like really lost the ability to like focus on writing. And I really haven't had the time since getting work to try and get back into it. But like I've just really like in a way I've like never recovered from that and it really sucks. And that was like the first indication that like basically like the hierarchy of needs I really swear by that stuff of like there needs to be a certain baseline of stability for me to like function and do anything remotely high level as a person. There's no foundation to the metaphorical house that we all live in right now. So like every day for me is just a struggle to exist, and I feel bad that I'm not doing more, even though I'm not really in a position to be like doing all that much. But like, I feel like a lot of the time I start the stream with like, oh man, here's a fun anecdote about how much it sucks to be an adult or something. And like I just have done not you know what I've done with my week? I've played like like 15 hours of Pokemon Arceus, which I'd never played before, and then like watched like a really random disparate assortment of TV shows. And it's like all I can manage to do after like accomplishing a frustrating day's work. Now I've had like 1.5 not terrible work days in a row, which is impressive. This year's been really rough for work. And honestly, I think the reason is the same. I think everyone's just going through it. And even though like no one really wants to admit it, or maybe not everyone's like aware of it, like these little things are just a struggle for everyone. Or maybe I'm just projecting that because I want to feel less horrible about how like incapable I am as a person, but like I am not having a great time with it. And even if none of you agree with me, I feel like being honest about the struggle is helpful because when nobody wants to talk about it, I find like the most useful thing to do is to like communicate it. Like about people who work better under pressure. I've heard a saying that goes something like the same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. Yeah, like I've heard that before. I think it's like supposedly like folk wisdom from I want to say like Russia or some kind of like Eastern European country I can't identify or something. But like I remember hearing that and like strongly agreeing with it for like exactly this reason is like like even like my mom references my sister in chat. I don't know that I'm not sure my sister would necessarily say that she works better under pressure, but I think she even recently said herself that people assessed her as like thriving in chaos. She is a much more like ambitious person than I am in a lot of ways, which means that like she has sort of forged herself in the crucible of some like disastrous circumstances that really would have like shattered my like fragile mental health. Get that. At least you can still look at the bright side under all that stress and stuff. I really try. I mean, that is the hard work of like a decade of mental self improvement. It has not come easily. It is not second nature to me. I like I want to be here for you all and like provide something that doesn't suck. But then it's tough because I'm sure all of you have heard that stupid fable of Pagliacci the clown, where like a guy goes into a doctor's office and complains that he's depressed, and varying versions of this go on for a belabored amount of time. But basically, the doctor says like, "Hey, you know what? There's this clown that's come to town named Pagliacci. You should check him out." And then the depressed guy's like, "But I'm Pagliacci. Like, what do I do? I'm the depressed clown." Um, and my answer in this metaphorical situation is apparently like play like a whole bunch of Pokemon Arceus, which I hadn't played until recently, and had been kind of critical of it for various creative choices that it made. And my response has been interesting. Is I felt like playing it a little bit, I didn't mind them as much as I expected, and then playing a little more, I found them even more even more annoying than I originally anticipated. So like I don't really entirely know how to evaluate that game based on where I'm at. People who have ADHD seem not to so much thrive as inadvertently find themselves working under pressure as they left things to the last minute and found it worked out. Yeah, I think that's true to some extent, Keen. I mean, I think there's, and I don't mean this to sound critical. I think there's an argument though to be made that like those same people, if they like consciously worked on some tools to like circumvent saving things to the last minute, they might be better off. But like, I don't think it's necessarily a Venn diagram of a circle of like people with ADHD and people like claiming to do well in those circumstances or whatever. Uh, yeah, not necessarily a good thing. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like some people like they're just fine with it. Maybe they're even like happy with that, but like I don't know. I think it's the same thing with like the realizations of like how I was coping with depression before I started all this, which was like not well, but like I didn't have any like language or tools or understanding for dealing with stuff because like the only people I'd ever known to specifically have depression like specifically went out of their way like not to talk about it or even acknowledge its existence. And it took like a lot of like coincidence and struggle and effort on my part to even arrive at the realization that that was like what I was dealing with. And then people were not very supportive of me in the short term. Um, and I had to take that not particularly constructive feedback and internalize it in a way that would drive me to be better, which is not easy and maybe not even a particularly good way to approach it, but it's worked for me. Um, but like, yeah, like it's interesting. I don't know if I talked about this on stream. I feel like I talk about this a lot, but like one of my favorite like celebrity anecdotes is regarding Dua Lipa, a music artist I like quite a lot. I hipster moment. I liked her before she sort of blew up in the U.S. I liked some of her stuff when it was still on the in the fringe of like British music I like listening to that no one's ever heard of. Um, and at the time she had this like really disaffected persona where she like didn't emote at all and like didn't do like very much dancing in her videos or anything. And like apparently as she started to get big in the US and sort of like blow up globally, um there was like some comment online of note that was like uh yes queen, give us nothing. And it was like I don't honestly know what the intent was. If they just sort of liked her weird persona at the time, or if they were trying to take a jab at her for like not emoting a lot or whatever. But then she just like took that and instead of like lashing out at them like a lot of celebrities would do on the internet, she just like learned how to be a better performer and like kicks even more butt now. And it's just like I like to think that on a much less impressive scale, that's sort of what I've done. But so like when I hear a story like that, I'm like, heck yeah, slay queen. Uh, anyway, this whole anti rant is just sort of me saying like I didn't really come prepared with an interesting topic to discuss because it's been awful. What are your thoughts on unofficial plushies? I haven't put a great deal of thought into it, to be honest, Keen. I know that my sister also collects Pokemon plush, obviously Pikachu specifically. Um, and now that she works in a Pokemon adjacent job with Pokemon Company International, she made it very clear that like no plushies can be unofficial plushies, which is fine because I don't think I've ever. I only like once. briefly entertained the idea of like trying to get her something that wouldn't fit that description. And that was like years ago when I like couldn't think of something more exciting to get her for Christmas. And then I don't remember what I got in the end, but it wasn't very exciting. Um, I don't know. For my money, I tend, I guess, to prefer official stuff. I'm not sure I would say that for my own purposes, I would never get something that was unofficial, but like, I think I have a preference towards official stuff. Technically own 3 unofficial Pokemon plushies between Crochet, Drifloon, and Squirtle. That, you know what? That's a really good point. For some reason, that didn't even like come to mind. But yeah, Neko did make me those 2 Drifloons, and I have Sarah's Crochet Squirtle, and I display them pretty regularly. Less so the Drifloons, only because it's really easy for them to get lost sort of in the background. I try to do that more. One of the secret things you do at work is literally go to your YouTube channel and just re-listen to some of the old VODs while responding to emails. Oh, that's nice, Justin. Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. I'm glad that helps a little bit. But yeah, I mean, to that point, like, obviously I'm not opposed to them because I showcase them. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think if there was like really good ones, I'd like maybe buy them. I tend to just stray towards official stuff. It's not a super hard line stance on that at the moment, I guess. Um, yeah, boy, I'm not focused at all today. It will surprise no one. That's enough chat. Let's chat about. That's the wrong button. All right, got the game. Let's turn the mysterious intrigue music back up. Oh, I think I put it there. So like the last time I went to upload Rosewater videos, they had aggressively content claimed every piece of music in this game. So like every single one of my videos is flagged, which is fine in the short term because I'm not able to make any money off YouTube. I'm not smart or cool or fast enough, and I'm terrible at the guitar. Arts and crafts medium at best. Yeah, so like there was a period of time where I was briefly trying to like I like re-edited one of those VODs a few times to try and cut out the music, and then I realized that they just claimed like all the music, including like previously uploaded stuff, and I was like, all right, this is just a wash, it's fine, can't be bothered. Switch the language to German. I mean, nah. It, like, I'm gonna have a hard enough time finishing this game as it is, I'm starting to suspect. I mean, maybe if I could get our good friend Phil to say his signature line in German.
Look at all this trash.
By the way, not a single person has noticed that I added that to the soundboard, which I find interesting. Not shocking, but it's there for you.
Look at all this trash.
Yeah, it's right there. For the official versus cost, it costs a lot more to have something handmade. Second is quality. Quality of Pokemon plushies has gone up considerably, and handmade plushies can be hit or miss when it comes to proportions. An expensive Pokemon Center plush would cost more as commission. These are all excellent points.
Look at all this trash.
While I had not articulated them, I think I share many of these sentiments. Quality is tough. Like, if you get someone to do handmade stuff, it may not even necessarily come out the way of their, like, sample images if they have, like, a pattern they use or whatever. Anyway, this room doesn't seem to be timed, so we can hang out here while I do a brief recap. So, I'll be a little honest about this. I've been really excited about Rosewater, and I was really enjoying it a lot at first. And it's not that it's taken some grand turn like Raincoat or something, where like it just like pivoted to like being unplayable or something like that. But like, boy, the last stream I felt was just kind of rough. There's a lot of stuff going on there that I didn't like. There were like a few like stops at the end of the pseudo Oregon Trail to El Presidio that like I kind of didn't love in a row. And then what happened was you get confronted by not Pinkerton's TM, and they they like soft kill off whatever character you like the most, because the game determines what character you have the closest relationship with, and like takes them out for medical leave because they get shot by like private police, sort of. And then at the same time, Jake, who is probably my second favorite NPC, also left for like character-based reasons. So now I'm kind of left with the C team. It's me, Harley Leger. That's me walking around right now. Danny, who was Jake's assistant, he's like a capable cowboy trick shooting roping type. And Phil, who's like a revolutionary for this alternate history world's not Mexico TM. And like he's a cool enough guy, but like he's probably like my least favorite of the characters. We don't get along. It wasn't at all intentional at first, and then it became a little bit intentional because I thought it was funny. But like, yeah, that's like kind of what happened. Like the summary of important points was like some crap happened that I didn't like. They removed like two of my favorite characters and then dumped me in an entirely new urban environment. And I don't know, it just kind of feels like a different game. And I know that's like a little bit of a meme to say in the video game world, but like legitimately, it's like I'm not dealing with like the same characters necessarily that I know and or love. The navigation of the city is different. It's not the environment that the game is named for. The whole road trip largely feels inconsequential at this point. It was a really significant portion of the game, and it feels now like very few stops along the way mattered that much. I just have like a lot of, I don't know, reservations maybe. It's not like I suddenly hate the game, but like just like a lot, like it's kind of like what I was talking about in the pre-recap about my feelings with Pokemon Arceus, where it's like, you know, I went into that game sort of having some negative thoughts, and I like gave it a fair shot, and then I was like, I don't know, I still actually kind of hate almost all of those points. I'm glad that you managed to find a source for the Spring Espeon Neko. You know, I'm really invested in that quest. I feel it's such a bummer that like there just was no window in the UK to buy that from the Pokemon Center. I really hate that for you. But yeah, so okay, to properly catch us up to speed. So all that crap happened. We got to El Presidio. It's not San Francisco TM. When we got here, basically we were told that actually Jake had been like hired by the CEO of an oil company to track down Dr. Clark, what's his face, the guy who allegedly had a bunch of like lost gold that we were seeking. And it turns out the whole thing was just like a con job, and like you're supposed to just like round up this dude who's probably like a threat to the oil company because he's like working in alternate energy science, which got banned. So I don't know, maybe they're planning on opening some like Eldritch Gateway. I don't really know where this game is going at this point. But so like I guess the thing we're doing now is like playing detective, going around town. Like in the short term, we're trying to find our way into the Jolly Good Club, which is a place where the scientist like hangs out. But like one doesn't simply walk into the Jolly Good Club. You have to solve some sort of social engineering puzzle so that some member of the help will let you inside the club. And that's what brings us here to this place. We're currently in Chinatown, and we got a lead. So there's like 3 people hanging out in the alley behind the Jolly Good Club. One is like a chef who like has cultural ties to the revolution, and so like we can help him out. One was like a cleaning lady, like an Asian, like a Chinese cleaning lady who, what the heck did she want? I don't remember what she wanted from us. We'll have to figure that out. Anyway, in search of doing something to help her, we came to Chinatown and like visited this location. And this dude that Danny's talking to over here is some old friend of his from when he used to live here. And that's like about as much as I know. Welcome back. It's Rosewater. We're playing the game now. Let's talk to Phil. He's my good friend.
Can't think of anything to ask.
Great. Good start. That actually does feel like it encapsulates my relationship with Phil and like at least 50% of all humanity.
All right there, Danny?
Yep.
Good talk. Well, I think we beat Rosewater. I honestly have no idea how far we are in this game or what. I have no concept of what the scope of the game is, which is pretty wild for an adventure game this far in. Which, like, isn't necessarily a compliment, I'll say.
Pardon me, could we have a word?
Yeah, GG time to start blueprints, right? I don't know why, like, the next thing to do... Like, we have a connection with this guy, because, like, Danny, like, literally knows him. We kick him out of the conversation to, like, randomly start talking to him? That feels weird to me. What is this place? It's been a couple weeks. I don't remember.
What exactly is this place?
It's the Society of Open Arms, a social club, a place for our community to gather. We take care of our own here.
What's that hand doing? What do you do
what's
here?
your job here? Jimmy, was it?
Yeah, that's right. I do lots of things. Mostly I make sure everybody feels safe. Anything my boss asks me to do, I take care of.
Would you like to know how far you're in? I pose you a challenge. Yes, but only so long as it's as long as the figure is less than 85% through. If it's 85% or more, we'll just figure it out.
Your boss, huh? Who might that be?
Nobody you need to be concerned about. You got any questions or business affairs, you talk to me.
I have lots of questions. I'm asking them in order that the game has presented them to me.
I want to talk about your contract with Mei Hui.
The laundress who works at that fancy club?
The very same. She wants out.
So she sent Danny
That's what
and
she
his
wanted.
friends to negotiate? That's strange. You make a deal with her or something?
Basically. Listen, one of the criticisms I do have about this game is that there are lots of sort of... The game provides a lot of opportunities to be distrusting of people and situations, and I think it's literally 100% of the time correct to be skeptical of everyone. Which I think may be trying to make a point of how, like, lawless and dangerous, like, frontier times were, even though we're in, like, alternate history frontier times. But, like, kind of makes, like a bummer, repetitive note for an adventure game. That being said, I feel like I can tell this guy I'm trying to get in the Jolly Good Club. I don't know why this choice matters at all, but, like, sure.
We're trying to get inside the Jolly Good Club. She told us she could sneak us in if we got her out of her contract.
I see. Well, miracles do happen. If you intend to negotiate the terms of her contract on her behalf, I need you to understand exactly what you're agreeing to.
Go on.
Under Mei Hui's current deal, she donates 10% of her earnings to the club. In exchange, she gets certain benefits. She's already requested to be released from her contract. Okay, we said. We're reasonable people. All
What's
we
the
asked was
handle?
that she make a simple delivery for us first. She refused. Now you're making the same request. Okay, but precious time has been wasted here. The price has gone up. Now it's 2 jobs.
What kinds of jobs exactly?
Both still simple. The delivery is one. But first, I need you to run another errand. I have this valuable timepiece, unfortunately damaged and in need of repair. Take care of that, then we can discuss the delivery.
Do you think that this is the same pocket watch that we, like, stole and then stole back in Rosewater? I'd put that at, like, 30% odds myself. It'd be kind of funny if it was. I'm pretty sure I could get this watch repaired at that stupid pawn shop that's full of all that trash. Yes, the pocket watch. The pocket watch. The pocket watch. The pocket watch.
What happened to this watch?
A little disagreement. Someone got upset and threw it against the door over there. It smashed open. I collected all the pieces I could.
I'm new in town. What's to know about El Presidio?
Ask Danny. He'll tell you all you need to know.
That's ridiculous. That's such a strange request.
So how are you and Danny acquainted?
We grew up together.
Is that right?
Yeah, we were like brothers. Used to play on this very street. Then he ran off with Petey and some other guys. Thought I'd never see him again. It's good to know Danny got away from that crowd. I never much liked them.
Alright, Danny told me about Petey.
Doesn't surprise me. He idolized that kid. Did he say if anything happened to him?
Yeah, he was killed in a botched robbery.
That'll do it.
That explains why Danny's not latched onto him anymore.
It does
Anyway,
do that. It does.
This is all ancient history.
Are you aware of a labor union somewhere in town?
That's not a question you want to be asking around here. Understand?
Sure. Forget I said anything.
That's interesting and a touch concerning.
Where am I supposed to get this watch repaired?
There's a
My
pawn
problem.
shop at the wharf.
Oh, no,
The lady who
that's
runs it fixes things.
my
too.
instinct, yeah.
Okay, thanks for answering my questions.
My pleasure.
Do you think I can actually talk to Danny now? Since I was directed to talk to him about El Presidio?
All right there, Danny?
Yep.
Awesome. That really worked out. Thanks, gang. So what is interesting is I think we're at a point where she alluded to the labor union. We're trying to an alternate, I think, to getting the Mayway out of her contract is to help the chef guy, and that would involve getting him attached to a labor union. I don't have any strong leads on that, which is tricky. It'd be really funny if my character could read this sign for some reason.
What's that banner say, Danny?
Secrets are kept within these four walls.
Here, we value the ability to mind one's own business.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Very colorful decorations they've got. Looks like an intense game.
Doesn't have any giant holographic monsters. It seems pretty lame to me.
These look valuable. Probably why they're kept so high up.
I thought it was because they had cats. Alright, I'm bored of being here, I guess. Now can I ask him
Alright
about
there,
El
Dan?
Presidio? God, Danny, you're killing me.
I have no real reason to bother him. I'm guessing this is where all the medicines and Nadine would know about all this stuff. I sure hope she's holding up okay.
So Nadine was our friend who was like trained as a doctor, and she was kind of mild-mannered and way cooler than everyone else. And so she got shot and taken out of the plot, and I'm pretty sure that this character exists in this place simply to block us from going here because we can't do the third of the quests that might get us into the Jolly Good Club for the reason that we don't have a doctor. The mechanic is the worst. The more I think about it, the more I dislike it. Like, I really, like, it's such a strong, weird choice to me to, like, punish you for getting invested in a character. There may be some justification for how that wraps up in the end, but it still feels really bad. That just, like, whatever character you're, like, most attached to, they, like, kill off, basically. Like, she's not actually dead, but she may never come back in the story. I don't know. But it's just like, it stands to reason that if I was interested in that character, I would have wanted to see their backstory, which is a thing that, like, we're exploring to some extent with the characters that, like, come with us to the city. It's just, I just don't get it at all. It's so weird. How would I find the stupid union? And it gives the false sense you can change it with fake choices. Yeah, I'm generally not a fan of that. The lower key it is, the less it bothers me, but, like, yeah, it's not, the implementation's not great. Have I been to the park? I don't think I've been to the park. It seems like a place I might be able to find something. Oh yeah, it's like super locked because it's night and whatever. Who this guy? What's that sound? Who that be, huh?
Excuse me?
Yes?
What? What is this dialogue option? You walk up to a guy on the street, apropos of nothing, and you're
I
like,
thought you should know.
I'm a stranger.
I am a stranger.
I see. If you could give me a sign of your intentions, I just might be able to help.
Okay, this is clearly some kind of quest that I've stumbled backwards into that I'm fairly certain we haven't seen any sign of, and it would be really weird if we were able to complete this without that knowledge. There's a lot of trolleys that come down this line this late at night. It's tough. Saying says he vaguely remembers someone saying I should say that I'm a stranger. I don't remember the context at all. Like, not even a little bit. The hypothetical question is like, assuming that one of these options is correct, should I choose one that's plausible to do or extremely unlikely?
I'm not sure what to make of
Coodle-doodle-doo.
this.
Can you tell me about El Presidio? I'm new in town.
You don't say. This city has plenty to offer. It depends on what you're seeking.
A lot of helpful answers here in El Presidio.
Why are you standing around the park at night?
I'm waiting for someone.
Do you know anything about the Jolly Good Club?
Only that I could work 1,000 years and still not have enough money to be a member.
Would you happen to be familiar with Dr. Bennett Clark?
The mad inventor who blew up the Lamplight City Expo with his illegal doomsday weapon a few years back?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Okay. Do either of you remember why I'm supposed to be a stranger?
Right.
Yep.
The park's closed at night.
Let me go to... You know what would also be great? Like, this map is cute and all. It's, like, really kind of tedious to navigate. You gotta, like, scroll it and stuff. Like... Even, like, Lamplight City itself would, like, highlight key points with, like, a big bubble once you found them. Like, I don't know what led to this decision. This feels like a completely separate type of game than what it was doing previously. And also doesn't really seem like an extension of what Lamplight City, the spiritual predecessor, did.
Good evening.
Hello. What can I do for you?
What is your accent?
Do you happen to know anything about a labor union in El Presidio?
Nope. I'm an independent contractor.
Thanks for the chat.
Evening to you.
He sounds a little like Coach Z. Is that something?
It's full of tools. You see the drill the repairman mentioned.
Kind of gonna slowly take this drill. Yeah, I got, you know, there's a lot to be said about how far adventure games have come in their storytelling and their creativity and expanding mechanics from beyond simple point-and-click puzzles and making them more interesting at times. I do have to say that, like, I could really go for some more old-fashioned, like, kleptomania sociopathology. Like classic video game, like adventure game protagonists are just like insane people that like you would absolutely not want to hang out with, and like sometimes it's refreshing to just like steal that guy's drill and not care about it, you know. All right, listen, I'm gonna be a little shameless here. Now I'm just gonna try all the options available to me because I don't remember if I'm supposed to know one of these. It's been a couple weeks. This feels like kind of obscure detail. I'm just gonna say them all. I'm just gonna grind these on this guy until I either get a success or full
If
failure.
you could give me a sign of your intentions, I just might be able to help.
I thought.
If you could. Is there anything else?
Suppose not.
I see.
Okay, the game has just allowed me to do this insane thing.
If you could.
Like before I should be able to because it's funny, I guess. The sign may be, hey, is that a banana in my pocket, or are you happy to see me? It's true. We get a lot of train here. This place is really good for seeing one train repeatedly. I assume it immediately turns the next available corner and makes a really tight sort of box, because it's gonna come back in like 20 seconds or something. Echo says, I love how Sam & Max is self-aware when it comes to how insane adventure game protagonists are. Just absolute sociopaths. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, I think it is to some extent, but also it's like very clearly in the characters of both Sam and Max to just behave like sociopaths, which is definitely part of it. Like, I think that makes them a good fit to be adventure game protagonists more than it is the games necessarily intentionally, like, making fun of that. I think making fun of it does happen, and intentionally so, but I think it's, like, more about the fact that those characters already existed and were sociopaths. Train is missing the important front bit. It's lacking aerodynamics and cuteness. You're not wrong. It's also not ting-tinging or choo-chooing. I happen to... YouTube kept recommending me this video, a video essay about how the Speed Racer movie from like 2006 or something was like an underrated, like, most influential movie of this century or something. And when I watched that, like, I enjoyed it and like looked a little bit at the channel, and they had a video that was like something about how like trains are like the best setting for like movies, and I was like, yes, correct. And I watched that and it was very good. Also just highlights more why the Blackwell protagonist is probably the worst adventure game protagonist ever made. There are far worse adventure games, but Blackwell was such a killjoy. That's very true. Oh, that actually reminds me. So, despite my best instincts, I decided to watch more of Andor. New Andor came out this week. And even though I find, based on the 2 of the 3 episodes that are out, which I have watched, to be infinitely more watchable than, like, the entirety of Season 1, Andor's character, like, almost immediately meets, like, space Yukels, and it's just infuriating. It's basically like he just takes a pit stop in Siberia 3. It's horrible. The thing that kills me is, like, within, like, 30 seconds of the start of Andor Season 2, Cassian Andor is the character he should have been all along, and instead of, like, having that character be established by the events of Season 2, he just sucked the entire first season, and then they're like, 1 year later, we wrote him better. Like, that's it. That's Cassian Andor. Ugh. So say Yukels? Yeah, space Yukels. He basically runs afoul of this, like, self-destructive sect of the rebellion, and it's a nightmare. It's just horrible to watch. Hey, you think this, like, big creepy old house next to small creepy forest is anything? Spookles, if you will. You could. Search
Nothing
area.
remarkable here.
Is this empty lot remarkable?
Nothing remarkable here.
Is the block that the house from Full House is on remarkable?
Nothing remarkable here.
Well, that's... I don't know. I definitely am not, like, super enthusiastic about getting myself involved with, like, the... whatever the, like, alternate history version of, like, the Chinese Mafia is called. Which is, like, clearly what's going on at that place we just came from. But at the same time, I really don't know how to find that labor union, like, at all. And I can't do the third option. So I'm in a bit of a tight spot. Anyone have any thoughts? It is acceptable to say that I should just get on with it and do the crimes. That's probably fine. I've already done
Nothing
some.
remarkable here.
Hey, you think I could ask the lady who, like, runs the oil company if she knows about labor unions? This is one of those bad rooms that runs bad.
Welcome back.
I don't know
Miss
what's wrong
Leger.
with the game that this happens sometimes. I legitimately think it's a game problem. Despite the lag spikes I have, like, opening and closing software while streaming.
Mrs.
Yes.
Yeah, I can ask her about the labor
Are
union.
you familiar with a labor union in the city?
Miss Leger, labor unions are for troublemakers, layabouts, and those who feel themselves exploited and downtrodden. Vespuccia Petrol's employees answer to none of those descriptions, and so I have no dealings with any labor union. Now please, let's discuss something less silly.
Have you heard of an organization called the Society of Open Arms?
AKA SUA.
Chinatown Syndicate. You're not getting involved with them, are you?
I wouldn't say involved, necessarily.
I'm trying to avoid
Stay
it,
on
but
your
you laughed at
guard
my
with
other
my
option.
advice. I've not had any trouble with them, but one hears stories.
I think that's all. Thanks.
Very good.
You're not asking every single person about every problem, no matter how unhinged you're not doing it right. The problem is there aren't that many people to talk to, because this enormous city is vacant of mostly interesting things. Did I crash the game? I double-clicked the exit, which normally, like, fast travels out of the... Oh, boy. Those scenes are so busted. Like, most of the campfires, that, a handful of other ones, I don't know what is wrong with them. Man, I've been able to pick so much as a Sebastian the Crab of locks since I left Rosewater. I mean, granted, I could have, like, lockpicked that guy's basement, but that seemed like a crummy thing to do, but apparently it was the correct thing to do? Why the red banana? That's a great question. I don't have an answer. That's just what bananas are like in not San Francisco, I think. All of them? As far as I know. No one seems to think it's weird. Now try showing it to the fruit vendor. I don't remember if I did that last time.
Do you know anything about a labor union in town?
I think there is one, but I don't pay them any mind. I'm my own boss, and I don't have any employees, so it doesn't matter to me.
I'm pretty sure I could sell her some of my fossil stuff, but I'm gonna hold on to it for now until I figure out why the game secretly wants me to have a bunch of money. I did commit to, like, getting grifted instead of save scumming, like, a long time ago, and it might, like, piss me off at some point. It was, like, the first real indicator that, like, nothing interesting ever comes from, like, trusting anyone in this game, which, again, I feel like it probably shouldn't unilaterally be the case in a narrative game that you can't trust any character ever.
Sorry, I don't buy things. Maybe try the pawn shop?
See, I tried showing the literal fruit vendor my red banana, and he's just like, that's just a banana. It was a good idea to have bribe money. I got some money. What do I have on me?
Good
Like
evening.
$30, $40? I feel like Boat Lady might know about labor
a
unions.
labor union here in El Presidio?
Nah, I'm in the Maritime Guild.
You gotta be kidding me.
Thanks for the chat. Have a good night.
See you
God,
around.
this city sucks. I think
Hello
maybe
again.
that's part of why I'm
Good evening to
frustrated.
you,
Like,
miss.
just there's not very much interesting going on in the city. It's just big and largely empty.
I'm trying to locate a labor union in town. Do you know anything about it?
Depends who's asking.
I'm a stranger.
I am a stranger.
A stranger should be assisted. Take this pamphlet. It'll help.
Thanks. I'll be off.
If you need fruit, you know where to find me. I'm open all night.
Much like the trash thing, there's something that's just really funny to me about just like constantly telling people that I'm a stranger. Root stand is open at this time. This weird one. I feel like he actually like gave some explanation last time we were here about exactly why he's still open, and I just don't remember it in detail. Laborer, you have begun the first steps on the path to unity and protection. To commence your initiation to the Masters of the Plow, you must locate another laborer, give them the password, and they will ask for a sign. Perform the sign of identification. You will be given instructions to find our meeting place, which is at the shrine of the Silver Monkey. Put the back of your left hand across your forehead. This signals that you can earn your bread by the sweat of your brow. Sure it does. You think you could say that. I hate that like the exit to this screen is like just like not visible. Well, luckily I like the game did not figure I would just go to the closed park at night. Joke's on them, idiot. Like it says that sign is silly. A lot of people wipe their foreheads on a hot day. Do they do so, like, specifically after finding a laborer and then telling them that they are a stranger and being prompted for a sign? That is a bit of a coincidence, to be fair. Could it happen? Yeah. Is it likely to happen? Probably not.
I thought you should know. I am a stranger.
I see. If you could give me a sign of your intentions, I just might be able to help.
And I still like the coodle-doodle-doo one. Bread.
Aha! Take this. It's a guide to the meeting place of the Masters of the Plow.
Why can't you just tell me where it is?
If you're serious about joining, you'll observe the customs.
So, help me out here, chat. Because, like, I started this process by looking for a labor union, and now everyone keeps telling me that I'm gonna, like, master the plow, and my thought is...
I don't need a map to get to Bonetown.
It's some kind of poem. Ugh, I hate poetry.
Alright, hold on. I sought the plow. I had no guide. The path remained unclear. But after following this trail, I found my comrades near. Beginning from Enebro Square, I wandered ever eastward. I strolled until I found a street named for a noisy seabird. I made a right and headed south and knew that I was near. My destination nudged between a chapel and a pier. Upon the door there thrice I knocked, and stated then my purpose. The master's portal opened wide.
About wieners.
Possibly. Also appropriate upon reading this. This one.
Talking way too long, and none of it sounds true at all.
Thrice I knocked and stated my purpose. The master's portal opened wide. Okay, so I gotta start from. This is Enebro Square? Question mark. Eastern until I found a gull. Okay. That's not Enebro. Definitely was standing near Enebro somewhere today. Okay, here. And I go east. Which I do believe is... Dove is not a noisy seabird. Finch is not a noisy seabird. Gull is a noisy seabird. Made a right and went south. Between a chapel and a pier? That doesn't sound right.
Nothing remarkable here. Nothing. Well, now.
I apparently found the Union.
A slew of advertisements plastered on the wall.
I don't know why I'm compelled to do this. How you holding up, Danny? Oh, it's another busted scene that doesn't
All right
work
there,
good.
Danny?
Yep.
I should have read the poem again to see what I do when I knock. I don't remember. That is clearly not the rate at which that's meant to be animated.
Good evening. I wish to work.
I see. Do your associates also wish to work?
They do.
You may enter.
They do. Believe it or not.
Not the boy. He can wait outside.
Why?
Their kind look after their own. Do you want in or not?
I'll just wait for you out here, I guess.
You're sure?
I'll be fine. Go on.
Cool, super uncomfortable
Okay,
racial
we're
subtext.
ready.
The masters of the plow welcome you.
That guy was
I'm
talking
glad
about
you've
wieners
come
for
to
sure.
us. I am the master workman. Who are you?
I'm Harley Leger, and this is Phil Marquez.
Henceforth known as initiates. You must undergo a simple ceremony before being inducted into our union.
What
Cool,
kind
they're
of
like
ceremony?
masons or something.
We will ask you a few questions, and you must answer. Everything you need to prepare is found in this vestibule. Simply pass through this door when you are ready.
So is the idea
I
that
suppose we should have a look around then.
the only way to succeed in El Presidio is to do something shady? Maximum save slots reached. That's so rude. Okay, in fairness, I have saved a lot of times. I don't need this like super close to the start of the game save. I don't love that I'm sort of forced to... What do you mean? I literally just over... Okay. You're a piece of garbage. Esteemed comrades, I wish to labor. You wish to labor. Every honest man and woman of nobility and worth wishes to pass the vigorous years of life engaged in earnest, holy labor upon this good green earth to yield the fruits of toil that sustain us all. There are things implied there that I don't think are correct. Against those selfish idlers and hoarders of capital who would throw a yoke over our necks and ride freely upon our backs, we assert the unassailable dignity of labor and our just title to the blessings of life and the bounty of our industry. We are masters of the plow, each sovereign supreme of the furrows we till. We command our implements and direct their course for the betterment of all. Together we are as one, united in action and purpose. Fructus laboris pro populo. August Plowmaster, Simon Collier, founder. Some part of that was a human name. Secret signs of the order. By these signs, the Plowmasters may know one another and communicate wordlessly in the presence of the uninitiated. The inspired sage, perceiving the truth in his mind and accepting it in his heart, gives the sign of intelligence. The index finger points to wisdom. The fist clasps it closed in firm resolve. I understand. Points to wisdom? So what, that's like point at head and then grab finger? The humble pilgrim, resolved to wash away the grime of petty grievances, purifies his hands in the sign of cleansing. The hard fist of strength, the soft palm, turkey assembled. I will do what is required. Yeah, that's a I'll do what's required. That's also more or less like, doesn't Mizuki do that like constantly in Somnium Files too? The faithful friend, on encountering a fellow plowmaster, readies his arms to embrace a comrade in the sign of recognition. 2 fingers held together to signify fraternity. Hand to the breast, acceptance. 2 fingers held together. So are they all 2 separate? It's like finger, fist, I understand. Palm, fist, I will do what's required. 2 fingers, self, you and I are the same. The noble artist seeking beauty with eyes heavenward adorns her wrist with artful ornaments in the sign of decoration. What is stupid? The fist signifies the earth. The 2 fingers crossing it transcendence. It is for a higher purpose. That feels arbitrary. I feel you should be writing these down. It's not like 8 of them or something. Probably fine. I think it'll make more sense looking at the wall up there. I think it's probably depicting them. The initiates shall present themselves before the assembly. They shall perform the requested sign when asked. Next, they shall answer the question of loyalty by responding, I swear fealty with no question. Oh, that's good. No question. That's great. Everyone loves that. Following this, the initiates will be asked to perform the requested sign. Finally, the question of desire shall be answered thus. I aim to labor, the insignia of the masters of the plow. Upon completion of the ritual of initiation, the querent is presented with an insignia pin and attains membership in the order of the masters of the plow, with all the rights and privileges accorded thereunto. By this badge shall our members be recognized. It must never fall into the hands of those who would abuse or defile our ranks. Yet it may be vouchsafed as a token of trust to a worthy comrade in need, thus conferring membership in full. That seems insane. That feels like that defeats the purpose of this ritual. Is that like, well, if it's like a real good reason, you could just like fully give someone membership without like running the organization. It's fine, probably. Delicious says, it's good enough to write this down and show a woman who's able to get this far in like 3 hours. The not-Prinkertons would have a field day with this. Yeah, it feels like super, super crazy easy to dismantle this organization by just like showing up at the right place and then like looking at this book. So it seems like there's only 4 signs I need to know, right? Finger to wisdom, fist and open palm, 2 fingers and palm on chest, and fist with 2 fingers across it. Okay, so this one's I understand.
The sign of intelligence.
That's you point at the head and then fist. Yeah, the second one is called I will do what is required.
The sign of cleansing.
The open palm is on the bottom for some reason. What's going on here? Is this guy just like adjusting himself?
Our founder. Looks like an intense fellow.
Looks like a little bit of a weirdo. This one is you and I are the same. That's what. It's just the name of it.
The sign of recognition.
It doesn't mention anything about the thumb sort of being out. Didn't it say the palm was on the heart? Palm? Hey guys, your heart's not in the bottom of your elbow. I want you to understand.
The sign of decoration.
Right, sign of decoration. It says it's crossing the fist, but this makes more sense because they describe it as like an artist adorning their wrist with stuff. It's stupid. It's all stupid. So then they'd quiz me on the signs, and then I say the stupid fealty thing, and then I do another sign quiz, and I say I aim to labor, and then I win a prize.
I don't look nervous, do I?
Not really. Are you?
Maybe a little.
Anything interesting if I happen
Hey,
if I
Phil?
talk to you?
We need to prepare for this initiation. Let us converse later.
I mean, are you planning on doing it?
Are you sure we are prepared for the initiation?
I don't know what else there is to do. I think it's just the book and the paintings.
Yes, I think so.
Initiates, present yourselves to the assembly.
Why is there just like a meeting whose sole purpose is to quiz us on this, even though we just showed up
The
unannounced?
initiates have entered the chamber. In doing so, they seek to cleanse themselves of the impurities of the outside world and enter our fold. Show us now the sign of cleansing.
Okay. Cleansing is the second one, isn't it? So, like, wisdom is... He's pointing left hand on temp... Oh, God. This is so much more annoying. The thing is, like, they give each of them, like, 2 or 3 names, which makes it more annoying than it needs to be. I want to say cleansing was... Recognition, we are the same. I think cleansing is like left palm up, closed right fist. Left hand in front with open palm facing up. And then place closed right fist on open left palm.
Very good. You have cleansed yourselves of impurities and are ready to begin anew.
That's all you gotta do.
Now answer. Do you swear loyalty to the masters of the Plow?
This one. With no question.
I swear fealty with no question.
I swear.
I also
fealty,
do that. Me
no
too.
question.
Excellent. Show us now the sign of intelligence.
Oh, thank God, that's an easy one. So that's... I think it's right finger pointing to head, right? Pointing left hand. Pointing left hand on temple. It's definitely like point to wisdom and then closed fist. Because the sequence as written was point to knowledge first, and it's giving me left hand options first, I think it's left hand to temple. Right hand with closed fist. I guess on right hip, because that's the only option here.
This is not a sign we recognize. Try once more. Show us now the sign of intelligence.
I guess since the only fist option was stupid with right hand. It's a little annoying because I feel like the instructions in the book don't necessarily like indicate that, like the pictures do. I don't know. It's kind of annoying to spread the instructions over like written and visual. It's left hand. I mean, I did originally say I thought right hand was pointing to head, right? Don't know. So how many closed fists do we have? Closed fist facing down. I don't know what that means. Left hand on right breast, closed fist. Closed fist on left hip. I thing is closest to this. That just doesn't look like how that's written. And then...
This is not a sign we recognize. Try once more. Show us now the...
Like, I know this makes me sound really stupid, but like, it's like so much easier to just do it than to like read like really unnecessarily detailed instructions for like hand gestures are a thing that is so much more so much easier to comprehend and mimic by just using your hands like a monkey than it is to like write instructions and like I don't know how to articulate this. Like it's one of those things that's so much harder to explain than it is to do. Like this does not strike me as a particularly interesting test. Let's try... Yeah, it's weird. You only get like one fist option on the second one. Just point at your head.
Initiates, return to...
That...
Guess we need...
This, none of this...
The sign...
This doesn't look like any of the things that were written. So yeah, it's like right hand and just like fist like in front of you. Like just like fist in front of, like, is this what fist facing down is? Because it's not. That's not how I would describe that at all. So left hand under, right hand fist. Left fist in front, point to head. Right hand elbow, left two fingers. Right two fingers on left closed fist. Now I'm gonna save scum this on the off chance that it's gonna try and gatekeep me out of an achievement that doesn't matter to me. You better believe it. I had to spend like 5 minutes deleting an old save file to make that stuff happen.
The sign of...
I don't need to look at this one, it's just a weird guy.
The sign of recognition.
Okay, so sign of recognition is like, dude doesn't know how elbow works.
The sign of
Sign of decoration is reasonably straightforward, as it's miming a watch of the type that didn't exist in this time frame.
Sign of cleansing.
This is left palm, right fist. Right brain, left fist. Left fingers, right elbow. Okay.
Are you...
Yes, I think...
Initiates. The initiates in doing... Show us...
Okay, the sign of cleansing is the same one as last time. Left hand in front, open palm facing up.
Yeah, let's get groping.
And then right hand, closed right fist on open left palm.
Very good. Now, do you swear...
Oh my god. It didn't... Okay, my save was not...
Sorry.
Do you...
Okay, this also This also really annoys me consistently in this game, that like you can't hard escape to main menu like a significant portion of the time. Especially in a game that like has weird like consequences that you don't always like have the ability to suss out in advance. Like that should be an option. Because we've tried like 2 or 3 times now to like just see how another option would play out. And like you end up having to sometimes go through like 5 scenes or something to get control of the game again. It's such dog water. So like just give like let me have my hey guys, hey gang, hey buddy, can I have control of the game? It sucks. It's a small thing, I'll grant you, but it makes me like disproportionately annoyed every time it comes up. And the more times it comes up, the more mad I get every time. So like literally, it's so stupid. Hey look, the video game. Acknowledge that I've looked at all of the pages. Boy, what a great puzzle. Oh man. What a good puzzle. Everyone loves the puzzle where the game requires you to look at the book, and if you haven't looked at the book, even if you looked at the book, get dumpstered. Great. Okay, cool. Even as simple this game has been. Like, even this game has been paused. Like, it wouldn't do what I want or need it to do, but at least it would sort of acknowledge that you're like a human being that like maybe needs to pause the game. I mean, I think all the time sections let you like actually access the UI. So like that hasn't been the issue from my experience. It's really like it's probably designed so that you're like not save scumming the game, but like it's just like I bought your stupid game. Let me play it how I'm going to play it, you know? Like yeah, like why offer infinite retry? I don't know.
Are you?
Yes,
Initiate. The initiate. Show us.
Open left hand, palm face up. Place closed right fist in open left palm.
Very good. Now answer. Do you swear loyalty to the masters of the Plow?
No question.
Excellent. Show it.
Sign of intelligence. Left hand on left temple, which still feels wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is correct. And then it is did I do this again? Oh, I hate it so much. It's just not interesting. I just want to die. I hate it so much.
Sorry.
Show it.
Great. There's no go back option. There's like literally just like if there's an achievement, it can just die. I don't care. That's fine. Shut up. You suck. Left hand, closed fist facing down. That doesn't even look like the painting, and I'm almost certain that's right. Right temple.
The initiates are near.
Isn't that mirrored? Isn't that mirrored from what's in the painting? Ugh.
What is?
I aim to labor. I'm so good. I'm such labor.
On behalf of the toiling millions of Earth,
what a fun time I've had here. I really enjoy being a laborer. Can I have my badge now? Why do you have a gavel? What do you think you are?
Here are your pins.
Thank you.
That sounds stupid. It sounds really dumb when you say it.
Tomorrow evening. For now, leave us and enjoy the night.
You apparently have no obligations, so that you can use this merely as a means to solve the puzzle.
Well, how did it go?
That counted as my first try. This video game doesn't know what the word first means. Or whatever. I had such a fun time doing that, as you can tell. Now, let's leave this horrible place and not return. So I have to go to the... Oh, it's like up... It's like... Oh my god. It's like up here where I can't see it. Like, seriously though, like, after all that, like, some guy in a robe just being like, here are your pins, like, literally sounds like I'm making fun of them. Like, that's... It just sounds ridiculous. Hey, Phil, why don't you give him your pin? It'd be cool if you could, like, scroll or something. The UI on the say is actually pretty bad also. What? Oh my god. I like literally deleted the save file and somehow like retained the information of the same name and then like overwrote it? Like, what are you doing? This game has decided, like, it wants to do everything in its power to, like, make me not like it. It's trying really hard.
Here you are, sir. Welcome to the Masters of the Plow.
Fantastico! I'm in your debt.
Think you could let us into the club?
I could open the back door, but for just one of you. More than that, and they would notice.
I'll go in then.
Once inside, follow the hall to the end. The door will lead you to the club's library. There's a presentation tonight, so most everyone will be in the grand hall. You should be able to move around unnoticed. But please, make sure
if that's
you are not
true,
caught.
why could we
If
not
you
all
are,
go
do
in?
not tell them I let you in.
You have my word.
Good. Let me get the door for you.
It seems incredibly dumb that this works. Like, this just doesn't feel like it makes any
Now
sense to me at all.
Clark. The letter said he'd be staying in this L person's suite. So who and where is that?
So I got an achievement for entering as a union member, which is... I guess it's distinct from the other one, because that was technically first try, even though it was the second try on the save file. Oh, boy. But, like, for real, like, if this shadowy cabal of laborers requires this extensive process to secure membership, it's ridiculous that you can then just like give your pin to someone else and be like, nah, you're just in the club, and like that not be some huge issue and that like somehow solves his problem. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
This club's membership has felled many an antlered beast. A stuffed bird. The plaque says it's called a dodo. How odd. I wonder if these could actually be used in combat. I imagine most of the folks in here are great admirers of Mr. Atwood. After all, he always did make a point of standing up for the great big rich guy. A ferrotype showing a bunch of men outside the club. The plaque says opening day. There's various exhibits in these cases, mostly old coins and trinkets.
Trinkets and baubles paid for in blood? Oh, cool. There's like a book I can read that probably has like secret eldritch knowledge in it. Jolly good club members in good standing. Alright, do you think these ones are Kickstarter backers? I don't actually know if this was kickstarted, but I should have made the comment earlier that the photos and the stupid guild wall were likely either like devs or Kickstarter backers. Here we have Wayne June as union leader. I mean, Wayne June would be capable of making everything better, that's for sure. I don't know the purpose of this book. Clearly this is a later thing.
I wonder how long it would take to read every one of these books, and if any of them are worth it.
I mean, if this was Sam and Max, it'd probably be like a 60-second montage
Edgar
at worst.
Whitmire, founder of the Jolly Good Club.
I don't think that's his real hair. Now, it said that I should open the door at the end of the hall, and no part of that description seemed accurate.
Stern-looking fellow. He's got a medal on his chest with 4 stars on it.
Let me listen to the
As you
presentation,
see,
like it's Indiana Jones and the
my
Fate of Atlantis.
analysis was correct. The region is absolutely ideal for the formation and preservation of fossils.
Oh, it's that
Though I have
lady.
so far recovered only a small part of what I believe still lies out there, I was able to partially reconstruct the dinosaur skeleton you see before you. Quite a fearsome beast, isn't he? This ancient lizard, which I have christened the Aurimosaurus, probably roamed the lands
That's probably
of the San
clever.
Bernardo
I'm not
Valley
smart
over
enough.
72 million years ago.
This is fascinating, but I'd better get a move on.
Can I not listen to it more?
I really shouldn't dawdle.
Well, you don't like these super secure, like, Ming vases at the end of, like, a weird lip? Why is this place laid out like this?
Mrs. Edgar Whitmire. I bet she's never set foot in this place either. Ham.
What?
Bat.
Those weren't the restroom plaques I was expecting.
Archie. Kit. Why is that man pointing at a skull? Does he think it makes him look mysterious?
No, we're probably hiding, like, puzzle clues in plain sight. This is, like, exactly the same garbage we did with the ship's captain, right?
He's wearing a medal shaped like a leaf.
Ham bat. Of course, Justin. That was it says Kiki and Booba. That reminds me, I was just looking for, after posting that stupid Flareon bait post. I was going back through like stuff I had like reposted of my own on Blue Sky because I've only been on there a little while, and one of them was like a panel from an XKCD that I still think is really funny. That said like it's something to the effect of like at 0 degrees Celsius, water changes state from Booba to Kiki, and it just has drawings of like bubbles above 0 degrees Celsius and below that icicles, and it's like true.
He looks bored, but I would be too if I had to stand perfectly still for that long. I've never understood men who grow beards without mustaches. This man's got a vacant expression. Wonder what he was thinking about.
Skull.
What a sourpuss.
Maybe ham bat?
I don't think I'd like to get on his bad side. Chan.
Oh, Chan, great. Big fan of Chan.
Lige.
Anyone ever see the Not Jackie Chan board game sketch from Tim and Eric's
More
Awesome
mirrors
Show?
coming from the grate. They must have that indoor steam heating I've read about.
So is this the hall I'm looking for the door at the end of? It's extremely long. Comically long.
Willie. Barnabas Jordan, 1801 to 1845.
What did they call him after them?
Ned. Finney.
I'm at a loss. I don't know
More
what's going
mirrors
on.
coming from the grate. They must have that indoor steam heating I've read about. Sigh.
This place is definitely making me feel as though I'm having a stroke.
We've only been in El Presidio one day, and I already miss the country.
Ah! What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. She really shows this overhearing about dinosaurs. Mistakes have been made. Now, okay. Can we talk for a second about how the instructions I was given by that guy was like, I'm gonna open the back door, okay? Now you just head to the door at the end of that hall, and it'll take you to the main meeting space where everyone is. Did I somehow interpret that wildly differently from everyone else in chat? Because, like, that was what I got out of that. That sounded like you should be able to, like, go through a door at the opposite side of the room that you enter, and then go to a space where you won't be noticed. Like, I'm now thinking that the idea is everyone's in that space and I'm not supposed to go there at all, but he didn't tell me how to get to the guy I'm looking for, and I feel like bad stuff is gonna happen if I just start wandering into doors. I do really feel like we could improve this system a great deal. Oh my god, I hate, guys, I hate it. I really hate this system a lot. It's extremely bad. Why can I not simply select the save file, change its name, and overwrite it? What year was this game made in? There's just like far too many steps to manually do that. It's genuinely insane to me.
Willie.
Okay. I'm having a thought. I know. It's shocking to me as well. How do I access journal? I have $31, by the way. Dr. Clark. Now to find the suite where Dr. Clark stayed, the one belonging to the mysterious L. I don't suppose I could just stroll up to a clerk and ask. Where did I obtain the knowledge that Dr. Clark was staying in a suite labeled L? I don't remember that. Did that happen?
Lige. Locked, of course. But these are the simplest door locks I've ever seen.
Don't, Tumbler locks. Key stays still. The diamond shines. Turns up just once, then down 3 times.
Nothing to it.
Oh, there's no mini game. That's weird. We went to a great deal of effort to...
That wasn't the right room.
I feel like that might have been the only one
Kit.
that started with the L.
Archie.
I don't really know. I feel like there's some like really obtuse puzzle here that they haven't given me very many clues for. Okay, what's this deal here?
General Lancaster Bevins, 1770 to 1832.
That's such a fictional person.
Stern-looking fellow.
Because there's all these like medals on people's chests and stuff, but like I don't know how to correlate that to anything that like tells me what I actually want to know.
There's a plaque above all those portraits that says In Memoriam. Seems these are former club members. It's a list of
I'm not seeing Clark listed. Does that simply mean that he's not in good standing? Is he not a member? I don't really know. I feel like we spent an awful lot of time on the road and not a lot of like actual time conveying information to me that would be useful to finding this guy, which seems important now when I'm supposed to be finding this guy. Like, I legitimately don't even remember this thing that's like in my journal about like that he's like at some suite from a mysterious person known only as L, who I have to assume has been hunting Kira because he's been killing people using the Death Note. I'm gonna find the suite where Dr. Clark stayed, the one belonging to the mysterious L. I don't suppose I can just... Like, I just don't get it. Okay, hold on. Let me look at some more photos in here.
A painting of a cafe. A nondescript landscape, not very well executed.
So that's the dodo. These are
so many butterflies.
So
this
many
put Sheriff Gamble's collection to shame.
I forgot about that. It was too many hours ago.
Various pharaoh types of rich people enjoying themselves. Suppose they need to prove how happy they are. Volumes and volumes of books. Nothing particularly noteworthy, though. Display cases with different exhibits. Haven't got time or inclination to study them.
I legitimately think I've hit every hotspot here now. Both the photos next to that, all the display cases, the dude, these ones, the book. Like I get a sense that there is a puzzle here, but like I don't know what I'm looking for enough to like try and engage with the puzzle. Like I don't know if I'm just stupid. I really don't.
Stern-looking fellow.
It feels to me like the game forgot to tell me some important piece of information, or maybe I've just forgotten it because it's been like 2 weeks. But like...
Mrs. Edgar Whitmire.
It does also seem weird that we sent... And I don't want this to come across as sexist, because I mean this sincerely. Like, why did we send the woman in here if this is like a time period in alternate history where like women are barely, if at all, let into this club? Like, there's a woman speaking about dinosaurs, yes, but we happened to have run into her and she was like, they won't let me join the club, and I really had to struggle to like even get to speak in front of them. So like that doesn't actually make very much sense. I bet she didn't get in. She more or less said she did not get in. Because we talked to that woman. We did like a mini game with her out in the wilderness. Oh, you mean, right, the wife of the... Yeah. No, there's no way she got in, yeah.
Why is that man pointing at a skull?
I bet, like, what's frustrating is, like, I feel like whatever this is would be really interesting if I had any context to engage with it. And I really don't. Like, I just feel so stupid right now. But, like, this feels like it's a clue. The badges and the stars and stuff.
Fancy ring. Probably worth a few hundred crowns.
A few hundred crowns? That seems insane.
Why is that? Jovial-looking fellow. Aurum Star members. Where have I heard that before?
Nowhere? Never? Not at all? I don't think this makes a designation there. This is another thing where I like need to look at like a newspaper or something. Or maybe this old letter.
February 12th. Upon hearing news, when they hounded you after enduring such a trying year, one day when rationality, with warm regards, Dr. Roderick Nethersoul.
He was the guy who invited him, right? Roderick Nethersoul? Is he in here? Nope, that guy doesn't appear to be in here either. Whistling Harmony Grove. I wonder if this feels useful. Find the general's nickname. But okay, but like, real talk, other than the fact that he feels more prominently featured than the others, what reason do I have to try and like decipher a puzzle based on him? Like if I was just a person in this situation, like why would I try to do that as opposed to like being an idiot streaming this puzzle game?
General Lancaster Bevins.
So Lancaster Bevins is probably the dude on the right here, which like in real life you'd be able to compare the statue face to this to know that.
The insignia on his shoulder shows 4 stars. What a sourpuss.
But like, I don't think there's any relevant information from the painting, is there? Evans. Like, this would just make so much more sense if it would just, like, actually give me, like, some information. This is making me insane, like... So, on this week's Amazing Race, there's, like, a thing where, like, they had to translate from, like, a Cyrillic language into English. And, like, the challenge was, like, we will give you a cipher. And there will be, like, a quote in a big book. And, like, you just have to translate that to English. And, like, most of the competitors... like got a big disc that only had Cyrillic characters on it and were just like, I don't know how to use this. I'm like, they said it was a cipher, so you know that somewhere on this thing it has to translate it into a language that you understand, because otherwise it would not be a cipher. It would be a confusing frisbee. And it took most of them a really long time to even consider looking at the bottom of it to figure out that on the back it translated it into English. It's like deliberately obtuse, but like you have very limited information to work with. It's easy enough to like rule that out. I get that there's a bunch of people in photos. I get there's a bunch of names. I get there's some photos. I get that there's some like weird stuff. Like on plaques on doorways. Give me like a single piece of information that like tells me what I'm looking for.
Ham.
Let's try reverse engineering this. I'm gonna look for a guy named Bat and a guy named Ham and just see like what? Just see like what? Bartholomew Bat Egerton. Hampton Ham Cabell. This doesn't seem helpful. Like, I don't like get it.
Archie. Kit.
Archie and Kit. Another great situation where like having like a kind of annoying loading time between several screens is like not ideal. Archie and Kit. Archibald Archie Clements is a general. I don't know that that's relevant. That's weird. There are no K nicknames at all. It's also weird that this list is alphabetized by the nicknames, unless I've lost my mind entirely, which I frankly probably have. But there's... Oh no, Kit is like up here. Why is Kit out of order? Why is Kit the only one... No, wait. No, there are some that are out of... But like so many of them are in... Okay, whatever. Maybe that's erroneous. So... Kit is Christopher Kit Jones, inventor. So inventor, that could be like an assumed name for our guy, I guess. His job is inventor. So maybe Kit. I'm gonna put an asterisk on Kit and continue this asinine process.
Chan. Lige.
Well, we know it's not Lige. It's so tedious. So Elijah an attorney. Shan. Is a captain. I'm increasingly thinking it's Kit, but if my reasoning is correct, then this puzzle absolutely sucks. Like, it really blows hard. There's one more screen beyond this.
Willie. Ned.
Willie and Ned. Come on down. You're the next contestants on. The price is tedious loading screens repeatedly. Get the rest. I mean, there's only two, but by the time you had typed that, I was like 3/4 of the way back. I appreciate the sentiment, though. Willie and Ned. Ned is a financier. Willie. Willie is a general. A lot of military types. Pretty sure it's just one more pair, but they're at the end. Be awkward if two people did. It's weird, like, I guess it's just like policy in the club that everyone has to have a nickname, but it just feels weird. It doesn't have like the same culty vibe where I would kind of like assume that people are required to have them or something. Finny!
Sigh.
Finny Sigh. Finny and Sigh. I'm kind of surprised and almost disappointed that I haven't been arrested for trespassing. God, it just sucks here. It's not a good place to be. Finny. Nope, stop trying to make Fletch happen. Vinny. Vinny's an attorney. Sigh. Also an attorney. Okay, I'm going with Kit. More than one might be noticed. Yeah, more than one of us being sent in. The thing the guy warned us. Yeah, we've been here for like 9 hours. It's like, yeah, well, it'd be a real shame if 2 people went in here,
Kit.
huh? Alright, well, I'm just gonna pick this lock. I should really save. This process is bad. You will not convince me otherwise. You can try, but you will fail. You know what, though? This is a very relatable save name that I will reuse.
There's lots of doors. Do I really want to pick them all? There must be a way to...
Is that really not it? I literally don't understand. I literally don't understand at all. Demolition, I know you're like looking at like a solution guide. Is there some way you can tell me the premise of this puzzle without like just telling me what to do? Like, I don't understand at all. Portraits in the main area. Who signed the letter? That dude's not in the name of books. I looked him up. I don't remember what it is now.
Great admirers of Mr. Atwood. After all, he always did make a point of standing up for the great big rich guy.
I think Mr. Atwood's
Edgar
in
Whitmire,
Lamplight City.
Founder of the Jolly Good Club.
Someone's name is Spurge? Someone's name is Spurgeon? Someone's name is Spurgeon Gardener, and they're neither a Spurgeon nor a gardener? Discuss. I don't see it. Where do you see it? Where do you see Atwood? Or what's his name? Or I didn't really look closely for Whitmire.
February 12th, when they, after endure one with warm regard,
I looked up Nethersoul, and I did not see him in there. Lawlor? Who made these insane names? Lawlor sounds like some, I don't know, like lawyer stand user or something. I legitimately don't see like any of these names in here. It's Whitmire, Nethersoul, and Atwood. What I want is to know what the puzzle is. What is the puzzle? What am I trying to do? Like, I know you want me to be done with this, and I respect that and I understand it. What I want is to know what the thing that I'm supposed to do is and why I would understand it. That's what I want in a perfect world. That's what I want. Because, like, I looked for one of those names pretty early on and didn't find it and still don't see it. You legit think the guide writer has a different path where they failed the initiation? The name is there. I mean, it isn't. I don't know what you're talking about because I've looked through this like 4 times. If you were saying the name that's the solution is there, that's not helpful. That isn't helpful. Swear it's a letter from somewhere. Dude.
February upon when
this is the guy who invited Clark to come to El Presidio. His name is Dr. Roderick Nethersoul. That man's name is not in that book. The other one.
Night Clark, I have a business proposal. Relinquish that dusty laboratory. You may stay in
maybe I'm wrong.
the Jolly Good Club. My Aurum Star membership and military rank afford me certain privileges. You will be furnished with the comforts owing to a man of your intellect and accomplishments.
It's signed L.
P.S. You needn't have any concern for your valuables, as there is ample secure storage in the room. One of the aforementioned perks.
Okay, that's on me. I'll give you that. It would like... The sass of the winky face is not appreciated. Now the porch. I mean, there's like one guy. Isn't there just like one general?
Stern-looking fellow. He's got a medal on his chest with 4 stars on it.
But like, there's like 6 different generals in the name book. What would make me think this puzzle sucks, brother? I don't think this is a good puzzle. I really don't like this. It's so
General
obtuse.
Lancaster Be-
I also, like, legitimately, you can sass me for like not wanting to re-listen to 2 like paragraph long letters of voice acting when this initially comes across like it could be a time section, and also just because it's really annoying. You can absolutely blame me for that. But what I don't think is a very defensible position is that I should definitely recall with perfect knowledge information from like 15 hours ago in game time, even if I played it like straight through. Like, I should just be like, right, my brother in Zenith, L, is like a guy who has a military rank, which I know from this letter I got like 1,000 years ago when I was but a child. Like, these are the, like, legitimately, these are the sort of things that 90s adventure games had down, where it's like, sure, I got that clue a while ago, and maybe I remembered that, but maybe your protagonist just walks in and says out loud, like, well, I finally got inside. I think he's in a room like L. Perhaps I could check that letter again. Like that's all it would take for this to be from like a god-awful puzzle to a bad puzzle I don't happen to like. Like, that's a lot of impetus on the player after all the friggin' hoops we've been through to get here. Like, I just don't think that's good.
What a sourpuss.
But, like, okay.
The insignia on his shoulder shows 4 stars.
But, like, I don't understand, other than his, like, maybe only one of the, like, 10 names or whatever is a general. I absolutely don't know. But, like, it's just not a good premise for the puzzle. Is to, like, okay, check every nickname in this hall. Like, are these the only rooms in the place? This one hallway I happen to go into? What if, like, the room I need is, like, an unspecified nickname in another place? I'm genuinely mad about this. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. I think this puzzle sucks and I'm mad about it. And these are two separate thoughts. Okay, so I'm looking for generals. Archie is one of them. He might be the only one that's relevant. Hank is not one. Tim is not one. Willie is one, though. But how would I narrow it down between Willie and Archie? Legitimately, what means do I have to do that? Is this guy...
Stern-looking fellow. General Lancaster Bevins.
I mean, Lancaster Bevins is, like, not either of those people. L as his last name, I guess. I just think that sucks. I just think that sucks. Guess what? Guess who's scumming for achievements because he thinks this sucks? This guy. Hey, Critwitch. Holy moly, you're here. You're just in time to have missed all of that. You're so fortunate. I can't tell you enough. Hi, Critwitch. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Then we just casually lockpick this and we'll all pretend that we haven't been here for like an hour.
Nothing to it. I think this is the room I'm looking for. Yes.
I do wish to die. I do think I can safely reuse this one, though. No achievement for that, by the way.
Can't believe I've been wearing the same clothes nearly 2 weeks now.
Is that how long we're saying it is?
That's the most likely place for a clue to Clark's whereabouts.
It's one way to look at it. Let me search his closet.
A few suits. A wild frontier. This has been one hell of a journey.
Can we talk about how that guy was like, there's ample storage here, and there's like one reasonably sized wardrobe and a little safe and like some drawers? It's like, isn't that your full-time residence or something?
This desk hasn't been used in a while. Completely empty. It's still early in the evening. I hope we can locate Clark before morning. Typical hotel night. Strange device. Something to do with the planets. Still life of some fruit and flowers. Hotel art. Nothing.
Search the bed? Because I'm a psycho?
I found a crumpled note. Better take it.
Why? There's so many places in the room that a note could be. The only one that doesn't make sense is for it to just be in the bed and not be visible. You're trying my patience here, game.
General Laporte, as per your request, we have provided your suite with a safe. The combination is 12
awesome.
Right, 9 left, 5 right. Please share this information only with those you trust.
12 right, 9 left, 5 right. The annoying thing about combination locks is that they can, like, function slightly differently. So I'm going to do a full rotation and then go right to 12. My brother? Left to 9. Right to 5.
If only it were that simple. I need the combination.
Is that a joke? I really don't think I screwed that up.
General Laporte, as per your request, we have
12
provided your
right,
suite with a safe.
9
The
left,
combination
5 right.
is 12 right, 9.
Yeah, does it want me to, like, use note on save? Like, I literally, like, put in the combination from the note, and she's like, no good, I need the combination. Like, am I again the fool? Did it just get mad because its interface broke in the middle of me trying to do that?
Hot damn!
It did! It got mad
Alright,
because
let's
its
see
own
what we got
interface
here.
busted in the middle of me trying to put in
Some
a
kind of
combination!
wooden card?
Oh,
Better
that's
hang
so
on to it.
annoying!
And another journal.
I got UX'd again! Oh, I hate that.
Uh-oh. Sounds like the presentation's wrapping up. I'd better make myself scarce.
I can't emphasize strongly enough that it really feels like...
And who might you be?
Well, luckily I know who that guy is because he narrated his own note. It genuinely feels to me that, like, all the disparate parts of, like, the road trip and, like, the little expeditions in Rosewater and outside Rosewater, because they all feel really episodic, it feels like they were made by, like, completely separate people. And, like, some of them are fine and some of them are good and some of them are hot garbage, like this whole place. What presentation? The dinosaurs. Even though everyone's still in the audience. People never notice the 20 trips. No, fortunately. Also, I can control time. I'm part of the labor union. I'm on the cleaning staff. I'm definitely not a member. And no one here knows me.
Oh, just one of the cleaners. It's my first night, so I was getting a feel for the place.
I'm afraid I don't believe you. This is a members-only club, and you clearly aren't a member. Therefore, I can only assume that you must have broken in. Your intent was to steal something, I suppose?
Now, strictly speaking, I didn't break in. Is me saying that gonna cause me to throw the chef under the bus erroneously? I'm not here to steal anything. Do I happen to have stolen something? Yes. It wasn't my intent in coming here. I probably shouldn't say that I'm looking for someone, because the person I'm looking for is most likely his close friend, and I'm basically here to apprehend him. Thought I was here to unionize. No, I unionized before and had a bad time, and then I came here and then I had a really bad time, and then I tried to break into a safe that I had the combination to, and I again had a bad time. And then the second time the game correctly acknowledged me correctly inputting the combination of the safe, and then I opened it and I immediately got thrown into this hostile dialogue tree. No, this is the club that I was trying to get the union membership to get into. Does it make sense? No, that's why you don't understand it. I'm just gonna go with literal true.
You're wrong. I didn't break in.
Am I to believe someone let you in?
Let's just say it's good to have friends in low places.
You're quite clever. Very well, you can go. Let it not be said that General Laporte can't be merciful. But if I ever see you in here again, I won't be so lenient. Understood?
Yes, sir.
How does this tie to the dinosaurs? because someone was giving a speech about dinosaurs at this garbage club.
Well, did you find him?
I think so, but let's get out of here.
I think so is not a correct answer because we didn't talk to, look at, or interact with him in any way.
Now, let's see what's in this diary I found.
Good. I'll read that for 6 hours. Also, like, legitimately, it does annoy me also. Demolition says, but I have a pin, which is funny and all. But also, because I, like, came here with the pretense of, like, having joined the union, it feels like I should be able to use that to, like, bolster my lie. Although I guess it's, like, a non-union workforce or whatever. But, like, also, like, it's just like a generalized union. It's not like a union of workers for this club. Nothing about the union makes sense. Let's just agree on that and move on with our lives. November 22nd, 1844. The soldier is not a political animal. What a weird start to whatever is coming next. His sole concern is to determine how to achieve the objectives he has been given with all the resources he can muster. The motives behind the order, the whys and the wherefores are not his question. That is politics, and that is for politicians. But a soldier is also a private citizen of his republic. He is endowed with a vote and a voice, and may, indeed must, use all his faculties of discernment and discretion in the exercise thereof. As a citizen, he may be rightfully interested in national affairs and move to do all that is within his power to deflect a march toward ruin. Any less would be a dereliction of his patriotic duty. That sounds a little bit like it contradicts the first part. I write this not as a soldier, but as a concerned citizen. Indulging the basest populist fears, Leroy is pursuing a labor rights agenda of anti-tech appeasement that will shackle the productive capabilities of this country for generations. The inevitable result will be an economic depression and want of military readiness that will put us at the mercy of our enemies and render us a permanently dependent, withered, and diseased appendage of the crown. Steam tech and its even more potent successor aethericity are the engines that will power our prosperity and military might. If we do not pursue these technologies with all robustness, we may be assured that others will. Both as a citizen and as a soldier charged with the defense of our Commonwealth, I cannot stand idly by and watch our future be destroyed. What is this? What is this? What is this? June 12th, 1847. That's like a while later. An infant industry is poised to be strangled in its crib, and its genius father must suffer his reputation to be torn to tatters, all because of a single unfortunate accident. I have a lot of notes on just that sentence alone. Mostly you sound like a certain populist figure in the current day, and I wouldn't put a lot of weight in what that dude's saying, and he can walk the plank as well. I refer, of course, to the incident at Lamplight City Expo, which Leroy has seized upon as an opportunity to decry the intolerable dangers of the whole aetheritic project and agitate for a total ban. The way of progress was never smooth, but after stumbling over the first pebble in the road, a timorous populace now wrings its hands in hysterical anguish. Listen, you're not going to win over the general populace with this kind of writing, trust me. Political opportunists now rush to coddle simple minds by vying to introduce the most stringent measures to get proposed. These men are ignoramuses who cannot see the potential in what Dr. Clark has wrought. This crap wasn't written by Dr. Clark? Who wrote this crap? The guy who died? The nation that first tames the unbridled power of aethericity will be the unrivaled leader of the world and will need genuflect to no potentate. Listen, I need you to chill out. Vespuccia needs an aetheritic project of her own, not subject to the whims of politics or commerce, and Dr. Clark is the man to carry it through. He must not be allowed to succumb to the passing winds of ill favor. July 25th, 1847. Was the first one 1847? I swear it said 1844. Fort Beaumont is a conveniently situated outpost out of the way of common traffic, yet close enough to the rail terminus in the town of Rosewater. Close by in the San Bernardo Valley is a village of indigenous people who might be kept in a state of sufficient aggravation and agitation to render the fort an indispensable bulwark against them. What? Why would that matter to your purposes? As none may dispute that certain campaigns of suppression emanating from Fort Beaumont must therefore be waged, a fivefold increase in its annual allotment of material to fund such operations will provoke no complaint. Aw, man, that sucks. So, if I'm interpreting this correctly, I'm assuming this is coming from the Clark's assistant? No, that can't be right. Because didn't that guy die in the Expo incident? So, like, he couldn't be alive afterward to write about the incident that caused the problem. Either way, whoever this is, whether it's Clark talking in the third person or someone who supports Clark in a fanatical way, like, they supported the military harassing the natives because they were trying to, like, skim money off the top from their funding for his scientific research? That sucks, dude. However, I cannot work with Captain Mayhew. He is principled and proud and will not be susceptible to the usual inducements. A tour patrolling the Laurentian border will provide him ample opportunity for the honorable and distinguished service he craves far from here. I thought he craved electrolytes. As for a replacement, there is in Clayton Creek a certain Lieutenant Stokes presently facing summary court-martial on charges of disorderly conduct and public drunkenness after causing the death of a local in some dispute over a woman of low virtue. It happens that Stokes descends from an old military family. His grandfather, no less a man than Colonel Remington Stokes, lost his life in the pacification skirmishes that ultimately civilized Dixie. Consequently, the lieutenant harbors no love for savages and a strong aversion to any stain of dishonor upon his distinguished family name. In gratitude for the dismissal of charges and a promotion to captain, such a man would prove exceptionally complacent? March 3rd, 1850. That one's a big jump. It's for sure been 1847. Now 3 years have passed. The first cup of water given to a man rescued from a shipwreck at sea tastes as sweet as the finest wine. How much sweeter, then, the finest wine must be, accompanied by steak and lobster and followed by a quantity of port and good cigars. Dr. Clark has accepted the hospitality of my club and given ear to my entreaties. I have impressed upon him the need for the utmost discretion. In return, he will be at liberty to continue his research here, sheltered from disturbance and wholly provided for in the smallest detail. It is an offer that no man in his position could possibly refuse. So then, is this the general's thing? It talks a lot about soldiers. And it talks about, I guess it is. I guess it's from, I don't care what his name is. March 11th, 1850. All has been arranged on Gannett Island at no small expense, and the facility is ready to receive its chief researcher. Preparations were underway well in advance of his acceptance. Had Dr. Clark proved unwilling, another expert less proficient and likely less tractable would have been procured. It is for the better that such contingencies were not necessary. With Dr. Clark leading the effort, Project Rosewater can commence imminently. Rapid progress is expected. When my country is ready to sup on the fruits of this labor, she may well thank me for my foresight.
Clark's not at the club anymore, but I found out who invited him to El Presidio, an army general named Laporte. He's got Clark on Gannett Island working on some secret operation called Project Rosewater.
Project Rosewater?
No idea what it is, but it's the whole reason Laporte brought Clark here.
Wait a minute. Remember those crates on the army supply wagon? The ones marked...
Yeah, it's clearly got something to do with that crap.
The town of Rosewater. I bet they were coming here for Project Rosewater.
Of course. Fort Beaumont was just a waypoint. It sure seemed like a lot of stuff for one little outpost in the middle of nowhere.
So, the night deliveries, the aurum bars.
Something big is going on here. We need to have a talk with Shaw.
Great. Someone remind me who Shaw is. Okay, it's her.
Miss Leger, have you any news?
I definitely didn't spend like an hour in a hallway. Why are these scenes so bad? Like, I'm not crazy, right? It shouldn't... Like, the animation should work normal.
There's nothing there, just a crumbling fort and lighthouse.
Have you heard of an army general named Laporte? Or something called Project Rosewater?
Neither. Go on.
What is your interest in Clark?
You said your reasons for seeking Dr. Clark were complicated. This quest has run us afoul of some very dangerous people. If you expect us to get Clark for you, I want to know why you want him so badly.
Very well.
He's my son or something. Just go get him.
Imagine airships, engines, furnaces, powered not by petroleum and coal, but by ethericity. An infinitely renewable energy source that comes from the sky.
She better be saying she wants to kill him.
Efficient and
because I don't buy for a second that she wants to, like, yeah.
I run an energy company, Miss Leger.
Absolutely not. Garbage.
Takes many forms. With Dr. Clark in my employ, we can lay the groundwork now for a pivot from oil to ethericity. Once the benefits become apparent, the market will clamour for clean, safe, etheric energy. And only one company will be equipped to meet that demand on day one. Mine.
What about the ban?
Bans are imposed by governments, and governments change, Miss Leger. Not everyone supports Leroy's technophobic policies. The Labourites are barely hanging on. It's not just Atwood's trade party that would like to see etheric advancement back on the table. Royalists, justice, pioneers, even the Christian Union would all get on board. In these fractious times, ethericity has the potential to be a great uniter. Change is just over the horizon. But enough politics. You know where Clark is. Go get him. Best of luck.
Let me walk extremely slowly out of this room. Silently will I crawl out of this room at like 3 frames a second. I don't know how much I have to pay for passage to the island, but I think I just talk to the boat lady and pay her money and do that. It is weird. We haven't, like, slept since we got here, right? Like, one of our friends was, like, shot and then taken to a hospital. And then we, like, joined a cult. And then we, like, broke into some guy's safe and read his personal diary. And we're still like, yeah, I'm up for being shot tonight. So I have some stuff I could sell if I absolutely have to. Again, I don't know how much I have to pay to, like, go to that stupid garbage dump island.
Good evening.
Evening to you.
How much to go to Gannett Island?
Oh, hell. There's no amount of money could get me to set foot on that island.
You don't have to set foot on it.
Cursed. Haunted by demonic spirits.
Come on, really?
I've seen them with my own eyes. Horrid specters floating around the place, ready to kill anyone who gets too close. When they're out dancing in the sky at night, you can feel their evil influence in the air, too. Hot shivers going down the back of your neck. If you know what's good for you, you'll get any idea going out there out of your head.
I do really need to go there, and, like, this place isn't interesting, so there don't seem to be that many, like, things I could try.
We really need to get to that island.
Good luck to you, then. Nobody in their right mind will take you there.
You said no amount
Scribbles
of money
down,
can get you to set foot on
find
the
crazy
island.
person with boat.
Just dropped us off.
You're dead set on going, aren't you?
I thought I'd made that clear.
All right. If you have such a disregard for your life, there's nothing I can do about it. But I won't take you there for any less than 60 crowns.
Damn.
Bet that's made you change your mind, eh?
Not quite. We'll come back when we've got the money. Thanks for the chat. Have a good night.
See you around.
I wonder what I'm supposed to do to get the money if I don't have enough handy. If I had my, like... I think I had, like, $30 that got stolen, that thing from earlier. So, like, I think I'd just be there, which would be convenient. What is this?
Strange wooden card lined with metal. It's got some holes on one side.
Anyway, let me sell my, like, doubloon and my fossil and whatever, and see where we're at.
What do you need?
Do you know how to get there? Is there a cheaper way?
Only way to get there is by boat. Lucky for you, plenty of folks around here with boats. How
False.
willing
One
they'll
angry
be to
lady with a
take
boat.
you, that's another story.
I have something to sell.
Okay, what?
How much is this old Spanish doubloon worth?
Where did you find this?
Buried in the desert,
Earth?
if you can believe it.
Not bad. I can give you 45 crowns for it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we did it. I guess I'll save my other crap.
Sure.
I'm gonna take this tea caddy to my grave.
Good evening.
Evening to you.
Pay 60 crowns. Go to
I have a
island.
hard bargain, but we're not giving up. Here's the money.
Still got 16 bribe dollars.
All right. But the minute I drop you off, I'm gone.
How are we supposed to get back?
I'll come back for you. At dawn.
Oh,
If the
okay.
ghosts haven't killed you before then, that is.
We'll take our chances.
So
Let's
if
go.
we survive the night in the haunted laboratory, then we get to keep it as per our
Owing to
uncle's
the
will or
island's
something, right?
reputation as the accursed haunt of assorted malignant spooks and spirits, it has cost us a comely copper to induce one of the credulous locals to transport us here.
Cut that out.
I do have to admit that this place presents a rather eerie aspect. It's easy enough to imagine ghosts drifting along the ramparts of the ruined fort, or floating among the after images of the lighthouse beam. But there's only one ghost I'm interested in finding here.
Remember,
Asper?
I'll be back at sunrise. Then I'm heading home whether you're on my boat or not.
Uy, que mareo. I am glad to be back on solid ground.
Look,
Is she the
there's
only
smoke
person
coming
on
from
that
the chimney
boat?
of that cabin.
I guess this island isn't all that abandoned. Stay alert.
Clearly not. The stupid doctor's supposed to be here, right? Lighthouse that had to be manually operated. Also a good point. Sure. Oh no, onward to science. That seems good. I don't even have to retype that. We're looking for the scientist. It's all come full circle. Demolition, presumably reading from the guide he has handy. If you don't have enough money, you can pawn several items you may have, referencing the stuff I do actually have from our journeys. Your companions each have an item of value they can pawn for trade. Note that doing so will close off their ability to help. That's weird. I guess it's like the guns would be one, and I
Hello?
presume the guns would be useful
Anyone
for something
home?
at some point.
No one here. We can do some prowling.
Oh, God. I don't... like, at this point, I'm, like, really desperate to, like, read a review of the game and see if anyone else is like, yeah, for some reason, like, a bizarre number of scenes in the game are, like, really sub-optimized to just, like, run at all. This seems like a conspicuous 3-dragon.
It's got a dragon on it, but no indication of what tea is inside.
This is one of those, like, really, like, heavily foreshadowed puzzle things where, like, that's not the way you would, like, observe tea if you were just looking at a shelf full of tea. But, like, if you were in an adventure game and there's some sort of tea-related mystery to solve, you'd be like, there's no way to know what kind of tea is in this tea box.
A box of chamomile tea. By Ji Guan. Some kind of Chinese tea, I guess. Oolong. I think I've had this stuff before. This one's not labeled.
This one's not pudding. Look at me walk so smooth. Santana would have a field day.
Locked. Because of course it is.
Let me slowly stand back up.
Damn, this lock is way more complex.
It's really annoying that, like, the game implies early on that lockpicking will be like a recurring puzzle type. And there have been now 4 opportunities to unlock something with lockpicks. One that had a puzzle, one that had sketchy ethical implications that I avoided doing, one that had no puzzle, and then this lock which can't be opened. Oh no, there was also a lock on the original laboratory that definitely looked pickable and wasn't for plot reasons. But like, were the lockpicks required to get out of town? Because I only needed the lockpicks to steal the pocket watch, and you can just bribe that guy. So how is it that, like, if it's possible to leave Rosewater without getting the lockpicks, how do you get into, like, the general's room at the Jolly Good Club?
All things considered, I could be looking a lot worse.
I've never said that a day in my life. You can't convince me to start now.
A spare lantern.
Does it look like out the window, like rain is like frozen in motion, and then just outside it just looks clear? Maybe you could use gun to shoot the log. Maybe.
Whoever's staying in here must believe the stories about the island being haunted.
Why are you walking so slowly? That's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of scenes in this game that work that way, and there's no explanation for why. It's just busted.
Phil? This is one spooky island.
Do not
like
be
the
afraid.
lip sync's like busted too.
Than some fog. Unlike that boat woman, I do not believe in ghosts. Nor do you, I suspect.
But that's neither the stream nor my computer. Everything else seems fine, but the game is running like crap. But, like, it's not the first time. It's happened a bunch. It happened, like, a couple minutes ago.
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Pretty spooky place, this island.
Very helpful conversation, Harley.
See why people think it's haunted.
You don't believe in ghosts, do you?
I don't know.
Ghosts?
But we should be careful. Make sure you don't whistle or anything, okay?
What? Why not?
Just trust me.
I've only ever heard that as a thing in, like, Appalachia. Has anyone else ever heard the, like, don't whistle at night thing?
Maybe I will when we're through. It's getting late. I hope we can make that dawn rendezvous.
Anchor as chandelier is a bold move. I haven't heard of ghosts being afraid of whistling. It's the opposite. The versions of the story I've heard are like some horrible, unknowable thing that lives in the woods will like take your voice and use it to like lure you or other people in to like harm them.
A plain-looking cupboard, but the good stuff's always on the inside.
It really doesn't seem like there's anything to do here. Because I can't open the cupboard, and I don't know what I would do with... Like, I could just, like, pick up the tea. I don't know if there's consequences for just taking all of the tea. It feels like there should be, like, some specific tea I want.
Hey, there's something rattling around in here. A small silver key. I'll just hang on to it.
That's a really stupid puzzle. It's a really stupid puzzle. Please stop. Game. Can we go back to when, like, the puzzles were, like, something I would actually put in an adventure game? Yes, the earliest examples of the bad...
It's empty, except for a couple of bullets. I'll take those.
Sure, I guess I'll take a couple bullets. Why not? But, like, the campfires... at various like stopping points on the road trip were like doing that. They were having the same issue.
Standard
Can I like give these to Danny? Do you need bullets? Is ammo like a concern now, or?
Want some bullets?
Sure, thanks.
Okay, great. I gave him 2 bullets. We did it. We did it, everyone. I don't know why we suddenly have a finite number of bullets or why that number of bullets seem to default to 0.
Someone must keep this lighthouse running.
Unfortunately, there's no way to enter the lighthouse because it is in fact operated by ghosts.
Can't think of anything to add. Bet this fort was impressive in its day. It's a crumbling ruin now.
Guess we'll just go inside as all other options have inexplicably been exhausted.
Shh. Not another step. There's a guard. Stay quiet.
Conveniently, we've come full circle to another previously used save title that I don't have to rename. Oh no, did I accidentally already save over that? I thought I ended up using a different one. Fine. Do you think we can, like, do a banana peel gag? I don't think we can poison him. We could probably shoot him if we really wanted to.
Looks like we found the island's inhabitant. What exactly is he guarding?
I really like to imagine she just said that out loud.
Not now. Not now. Not now.
That's really funny.
I don't want the guard to hear us.
She says, like, out loud next to him, I don't want the guard to hear me.
Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into. Quite an elaborate contraption. I have a feeling pulling that lever will make something important happen.
Like he shoots a bullet really, really fast?
Quite an
I don't really have anything that's, like, good here. I don't seem to have any actions for him. Like, I weirdly have the option to go and pull this lever that will make him kill me, I'm pretty sure. But if I can't talk to my companions, they can't do the thing that this game really likes to do that I don't like, which is they'll have, like, items that can solve the puzzle, but, like, I wouldn't think that I have them because they're not in my inventory and no one mentioned them.
Not now.
But we can't even do that here because I can't talk to them. So then there's, like, not a lot of options on stuff to do. Oh, apparently I can go this way. Which, like, isn't really obvious to me at all.
I'm going to see what's through that door over there. A nice mountainside landscape. Cheery.
It's unsettling that, like, some wall tiles just sort of, like, gently fell off the wall.
There's a lot of broken glass in here. What's this? One container hasn't been broken. I might be able to use it.
Got a beaker.
Just a dirty old sheet. And I see no
Would you
reason
call
to get
me?
any closer. Nothing. Just some muck.
Something is clearly going to fall in there. Why would that have, like, a hitbox otherwise? This looks bad. Why is there a hole in the roof?
This place is falling apart.
And that's all the TV there is in this room, at least for now. I really don't know what this computer punch card thing is. Then we walk extremely slowly back, even though the walking speed is normal in this environment. So, in theory, if I had something that would put this guy to sleep, I could, like, switch in the beaker for his mug. Hey, tea drinkers in chat, is there a tea that's actually a sleeping potion? And if so, what is it called? Oh, God, I hate being in this room. It's so bad here. Sleepy time tea from Starbucks. Man, I gotta tell you, so you probably already know about me that I'm not a coffee drinker. A little while ago, I got notice from the bank I have my home mortgage with, and they were like, oh, like, as sort of like a thank you for doing business with us. We're like mailing you a gift card. So, like, just know that that's a real thing and it's not a scam, and, like, keep an eye out for it. And it shows up and it's a $150 gift certificate to Starbucks. I'm like, A, I don't drink coffee. B, that would get me, like, well, it's Starbucks, so like 5 coffees. But the point is, it seems like a lot of coffee gift certificate. Accidentally closed all the windows. For some reason, I immediately thought you meant, like, in your residence, and was, like, confused as to how that was relevant. But, like, I'm just a broken person. Welcome back, Critwitch. It's good to have you. Catch a brick going there for tea. I'm only vaguely reminded of that based on the tea talk because, you know, they're both hot beverages I won't drink.
A box of chamomile tea. Feels nearly full.
It's random that I say that as if anyone knows what happened in the first place. No, I think that's a pretty reasonable... Like, I think it's reasonable to expect a normal person to understand what you mean by that. I'm just not that guy, unfortunately, it turns out. Can I just put some, like, hot coal in here and then have that guy drink hot coal? Can I just, like, melt a banana? Maybe I could juice a banana like that Brian Regan bit? It's, like, super unclear to me if the tea is meant to have an additional purpose. If the thing I'm thinking of feels really clever, of, like...
Feels most... nearly empty. Running pretty low.
This is just such a... I really hate this. I really dislike this. Neko says, I tried Lipton tea when I was in America, and it was the worst tea I'd ever had. Don't trust tea from a nation that doesn't really drink it. That's completely fair, for starters. Maybe that's part of why I don't like tea, is because, like, I don't know that America does tea good at all, if you don't go to some, like, real specialty place. Target or Walmart gift card would have been more useful, even Home Depot. Yeah, Home Depot would be, like, a clever one that doesn't feel totally outside the bounds. Like, you know, Amazon is basically money. I know I'm, like, being super rude about it. It's just, like, I know I'm not going to use it, and I feel bad, because it's, like, that's a really nice gesture, but, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with, like, an extremely generous... Like, maybe if it was, like, a small gift card, I could just, like, give it to someone, like, as a tip or something. Like, here's, like, yeah, have some coffee or whatever, but it's, like, here's a $150 gift card I can't use. I promise I'm not a psycho. I have, like, non-useful items. You missed that part? Yeah, it's a random... It came up really spontaneously and weird. Just, like, finally arrived to... They gave me notice, like, a month ago, and it, like, finally showed up this week, and I was like, oh, that's weird. That's a really weird thing to do. Use it to buy smaller amounts of gift cards. You could probably do that in theory, right? Like, it would definitely look suspicious, and the manager might, like, void that or whatever. God, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm in, like, a really sour mood now, but, like, I really feel like this game is kind of falling apart in the third act. Like, it just... It feels like we were doing some cheeky stuff that was pretty, like, straightforward adventure gaming in the beginning. In the middle, we were trying some wacky narrative stuff that diverged a little bit from the adventure game I was expecting. And, like, now it just doesn't feel like either. It feels like it's, like, really linear and, like, disjointed. And, like, the puzzle solving is, like, erratic and confusing. Target gift card would get you the next Target exclusive Pokemon Deluxe Advent Calendar. I need them to make a Pokemon Advent Calendar that's plushies, but that would be, like, insanely hard to find, I'm sure. I'm just gonna pull this lever.
Do that with the guard here.
Okay, it's the only thing that the game seems to want to let me do I can't do also, it turns out.
I don't want to risk drawing his attention.
What if I put this banana in his tea?
Not putting that in his drink.
Okay, that sort of implies that they're willing to let me put something in his drink.
It's a beautiful wooden box with it. Not putting that in his drink.
What about a carving of a coyote? What about my useless lockpicks?
Not putting.
What about some newspaper?
Not putting.
Okay, I'm gonna go back outside. Now that we've witnessed a dude, if I talk to you, will you say something like interesting or relevant?
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Any ideas for getting us past that guard?
Actually, yes. He doesn't look too tough. I could probably scare him off with a little gunplay. Does that sound good?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hey, got any ideas for getting rid of that guard?
Yes, it is perhaps a gamble, but I think I might have a plan. This island is rumored to be haunted, no? The atmosphere is certainly eerie enough. I believe that with a little pageantry, we might convince the guard the rumors are true. I will need a couple of props.
Such as?
Some kind of light source and something I can cover myself with.
He's gonna be a sheet ghost? Heck yeah, we're doing the sheet ghost plan. Also, I will point out that it's really annoying I can't have that conversation in that room. I understand why, but it, like, further obscures an already ridiculous puzzle.
If this is lit, it means someone's been here recently.
But where are they now?
The more important question is, how do I get you to pick that up, because it's one of the two things he needs, and the other one is right here.
Hey, Phil, could you use this for your plan?
No, that blanket is too thick. Something lighter would be better.
Does it have to be clean? Oh, hang on, I can... Suddenly this is an interactable object when it wasn't before. Even though it is also a light source, and the other one is currently lit.
Spare lantern.
Do I need to light it on the other lamp?
There. Now I've got my own lit lantern.
Oh boy, we sure locked a key in a drawer with that one. Can we, like, I know I'm being, like, really annoying, but, like, can we talk about how there was a lit lantern on the desk, and I was like, hey, that's a lit lantern, a light source that I could use for my plan that requires a light source. And the game's like, no, that's ridiculous. You cannot pick that up. You can, however, have an unlit lantern and then light it on this lit lantern that you couldn't pick up. What? What do you need a blanket for? Phil's gonna become a sheet ghost, and it's the best idea this game's had in a long time. So I'm gonna go back into the filthy room and get him a filthy sheet that's not this heavy blanket he doesn't like.
Just a dirty old sheet. This could be what Phil's looking for. Ugh. Hope I don't have to carry this for long.
It's fine. We're going to make Phil do it, which makes it sound like an even better idea. Of course, we now have to go back outside so we can talk to Phil again to tell him that we have all the items for his plan. The fact that we're both in the same place and we want to do the plan in this room does not...
Now.
it's irrelevant.
Hey, remind me.
I like something.
Oh, I have to hand them to him individually and manually. Here, have this gross sheet.
I would have preferred it to be less soiled.
Well, you weren't specific enough, and now you get my crappy sheet.
Here,
This will be perfect. Perfecto. This is everything I need.
I'm not sure if I hope that this goes well or goes badly, but we're definitely doing.
All right, let's.
Very good. I will need some help from you, too. Come, I will explain. All right, help me put this together.
This feels very Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
Huh? What's that? What mortal foot treads upon this cursed ground?
We all prefer it to be less soiled. Yeah, as a rule, yeah.
Our bones will mix with the dust of our bones.
The bones are their money, but so are the words.
In the dance of eternal torment.
Jump at Jehoshaphat! I don't get paid enough for this.
It's convenient that he didn't run past Danny, who probably shouldn't have been standing there, to be honest.
Chilling stuff, Phil. Wow.
What can I say? I felt inspired. Perhaps some of Jake's showmanship has rubbed off, eh?
Now to get those doors open. Somehow.
Perhaps the big doors lever. Does the screen scroll at all? I've forgotten at this point if this game does that. I think it sometimes has, like, adjacent screens, but doesn't really do that.
Nothing happened.
Okay. What if I plug this in here?
It fits.
I don't know why, but sure. Leave my elevator alone.
Santa Maria.
Wow. That's something.
You're telling me.
Did he use real blood for his ghost costume? No, the only sheet we had was gross. That's why he complained about it, and why my character wouldn't pick it up until we had that bad plan. Don't worry, everyone. This process just sucks. Let's delete this tech reference and replace it with a different tech reference.
Better take this card back. Don't want to be stuck down there.
What makes you know that that works and is the correct way to do
folks,
this?
Wherever
There aren't
this
even
takes
like
us,
controls in the
I have a feeling
elevator.
Dr. Clark will be there.
The real question is, will we be able to return here once we've found him?
I sure hope so.
Maybe one of us should stay up here, just in case.
There's no telling what we'll find down there. We should all stick together.
Okay, let's go then.
Well, it's a good thing that the game unilaterally decided that, because I wasn't sure how to go about that decision. But, like, there aren't any controls in that elevator, so, like, I don't understand what we just did to go down.
What in the ether is this place?
Caramba! Oh, we had better not be trapped down here.
Damn! I knew one of us should have stayed up there.
So now we're looking for two things. Clark and the exit.
Good start.
We weren't expecting, who are you?
I'm afraid that information is confidential.
Oh, sure. If there's anyone who understands confidentiality, it's us down here. I never realized working with Dr. Clark would involve so much secrecy.
Man, this guy sucks at his job.
Could you
Why did
take
that
us
work?
to him?
Hang on. You still haven't said why you're here.
I'm just here to say hello. I am a stranger. Feel like General Laporte sent us? Probably.
We've come on General Laporte's orders.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Right, come with me.
Goodness, this place is really something.
I'm glad you think so.
What's that big glowing thing down there?
That's our etheric
Bad.
generator. Powers most everything down here. You get used to the noise. Follow me, please.
I doubt that somehow.
I'll just be a moment.
It turns energy from the sky into cancer.
Do you think he suspects anything?
I think we're okay so far. Just follow my lead.
I suppose General Laporte's curiosity was too much for him to bear. I told him he could come for a demonstration next week. Instead, he sends 3 proxies. I will never understand that man's rationale.
It's not really what I expected Dr. Clark to be like.
So you may as well see what we've got. I'm Dr. Bennett Clark, by the way. And you are?
Laporte's press corps were safety inspectors, were new hires on the project. I don't feel like I want to say press corps. I feel like this is all supposed to be very clandestine. I don't think it would make much sense for us to be the press. Safety inspectors are new hires. I would think he would respond best to, like, trying to convince him that we're, like, more support for the project? Or do I think the bureaucracy would sell him more?
I'm Miss Leger. This is Mr. Marquez and Mr. Luo. We've been engaged to assist on this project and have come to get a briefing.
New hires? I wish the General would communicate these things. But I suppose this is good. No sense sugarcoating what this work experience will have in store for you. All right, let's go have a look at Project Rosewater. I'm afraid the testing chamber only accommodates 4. One of you will have to stay out here with Joshua, but you may observe the test through the window.
Interestingly, the game has decided for me how that works out.
Not expecting anyone until next week. The prototype still needs refinement. Nevertheless, we have made a breakthrough.
Prototype of what, exactly?
You mean the General didn't tell you? Why am I not surprised? There on the tripod, the etheric pistol. The whole purpose and object of Project Rosewater. Juliet, is the prototype ready for demonstration?
I believe so, Doctor. But who are we demonstrating it for?
Miss Leger and her companions, the team sent by General Laporte. Now, please, do us the honors.
Yes, Doctor.
I like that it looks like a big light bulb.
Santo cielo.
Whoa.
Well, that seems consistent with what happened at the expo.
Etheric discharge to a very narrow, focused beam over a distance of up to 6 meters, without.
Why did it make 3 after images if it's that narrow?
Direction of energy, reaching nearly 68.2% efficiency. This results in complete vaporization of most organic targets, with only minimal atmospheric disturbances in the immediate vicinity.
But if, like, we're just discovering how aethericity works, how have we confined enough energy to the weapon to do that?
A tingling sensation on your skin, and a change of pressure in your ears, perfectly harmless. Oh,
not if you're on the receiving end of that, I assume.
Experiencing any alteration to your color vision, I assure you that is also completely temporary.
Cool.
Can you smell that music?
There are sometimes minor synesthetic side effects. That too will pass. Of course, There is plenty of room for improvement in range, energy efficiency, fine-tuning of the beam's intensity and area of effect, user-friendliness and safety. But, as proof of concept, this irrefutably demonstrates that the principle is sound, and that it can be scaled up. The rest is iteration.
Well, thank you for that thorough explanation.
Now I'm afraid you must excuse me. I have some time-sensitive tasks I must attend to. If only I'd been forewarned of your arrival, I might have made arrangements.
You would have moved sooner.
If you have questions, I or my assistants can answer them. Just be mindful not to touch anything.
I'm gonna touch it all. I really expected him to leave the room upon saying that. It feels really silly now that that's not happening.
Who knows what they keep in there?
Let me look at your sensitive book.
The lab assistant's desk. She's written some notes, but I have no idea what they mean. Looks like some
Danny disappeared. I didn't notice.
Puzzle box. Flashing lights and other displays. I can't tell if it means something or is just meant to look pretty.
Let's talk to my extremely close friend, Phil.
Hey, Phil? Would you look at this place? It's incredible.
When we entered Clark's lab in the desert, I considered it an abomination. But now...
This is worse.
I cannot find the words to describe this accursed place. The sooner we find a way back to the surface, the better.
I think I should try to open this cabinet when she goes in the other room. I don't know why the doctor wouldn't care, but I feel like I'll somehow get away with that.
Not while Clark's around.
Oh, so it does want me to get rid of him also. It's on the monitor. Matrix code?
It's displaying all sorts of numbers and readings I can't begin to comprehend.
Okay, now, I need to be completely real with you. I am fine suspending my disbelief like a pretty reasonable amount as long as the story is like internally coherent. I don't believe that in alternate history, 1850 or whatever we're at, that he's used like not electricity to make like a 1980s quality computer display. Like that doesn't fly for me. That's a no from me, dog.
It appears to be a charging device. There's a small round socket at the top.
Charge the gun?
Doctor.
Yes.
Just how long have you been down in this facility?
8 months. We've made extraordinary progress, as you can see. I admit, I had some misgivings when I first learned what would be required of us, but it turns out the isolation has done wonders for our productivity.
So who built this whole underground complex anyway? I'm guessing it wasn't always a secret ethericity lab.
I'm not entirely sure. Apart from the additional equipment I specified, everything was already prepared for us when I arrived in El Presidio. General Laporte isn't exactly forthcoming with information he considers irrelevant.
Do you know much about General Laporte?
Not a great deal, no. I only met him when he summoned me to El Presidio. We speak occasionally, but only about professional matters. Just as well, I suppose. His interests don't align particularly well with mine.
So your relationship is purely professional?
It's an
You guys aren't hooking up on the DL? How does he not know? I mean, in fairness, from what we read in the General's journal, like, he was fishing to get this guy involved because clearly he wanted to make, like, a laser pistol. So, I guess he just built this facility. I mean, he basically said, like, even if this scientist doesn't join, I'll just find another guy. Maybe he's less capable, but it'll get the job done. So, like, he was probably just, like, building this facility and was like, hey, just show up and you'll have a lab. Ask about him. How'd you discover ethericity?
How did you come to discover the existence of ethericity?
Ah, now that's a story. When I was a boy, I read about the ancient Greeks and their studies of the heavens. Certain texts made obscure references to observations of energy subsisting in the atmosphere. Something entirely different from electricity.
Okay, they didn't know what electricity was, so I don't think they specified that.
And sparked my passion for the pursuit of ethericity. I developed an instrument that I called the aetherometer in order to probe the atmospheric potential. Imagine my delight when I discovered that ethericity was in fact real. Unfortunately, the aetherometer has been appropriated by so-called spiritualists who believe they can use it to talk with the dead.
It was probably in Lamplight City, and I just don't remember that. I know there was like a lady who claimed to talk to ghosts.
What inspired you to become a
I
scientist?
feel like I shouldn't ask him about the expo.
Sound. I wanted to make the world better. I had a fortunate birth. My parents were able to pay for my studies in Paris, which is where I earned my doctorate in physics. But even as a boy, I still saw plenty of terrible things going on around me. Others seemed not to see, but I did. Upon my return to Vespuccia, I began teaching and conducting independent research. My only explicit goal was to make some sort of discovery or development that would serve the advancement of mankind. I would like to believe I've achieved that.
Why did you agree to work on this project?
Why? I just experienced the worst disaster of my life. My work was first ridiculed and then outlawed, and I was exiled to a barren wasteland.
What's your
The only
point?
prospect I could see was to leave the country and start everything over. But then I received General Laporte's offer. I could continue my work in safety and solitude. Everything I needed would be provided. No investors, no reporters, no
All I'd have to do was make doomsday weapons.
distractions.
You know,
I'm
to make the
certain
world a better
anyone in my
place.
position would have jumped at the opportunity.
There's definitely a bit of a contradiction in there. He hasn't seemed to notice, but it's present.
Who came up with Project Rosewater?
My understanding is that this work is for the benefit of the Vespuccian army.
I mean,
General Laporte
yeah?
is in charge of the project. Everything goes through him. Other than the facility guards, I've had contact with no one else.
How much longer until Project Rosewater is finished?
We're nearing the end of this phase. If all goes well, we should
Then
have
we'll
a
have
stable, fully functioning prototype. by the
Aethericity
end of the
helicopter.
What exactly is the goal of this project?
Laser gun.
Once the etheric pistol is complete, we'll begin experimenting with larger caliber weapons.
Etheric rifles?
Yes, and whatever else the general sees.
They're
fit to
Gatling
pursue.
guns?
Where does it stop?
You'd have to ask him that question.
How did this project get the name Rosewater?
My idea, sentimental really. I suppose I had gotten attached to my dry and dusty little desert lab.
About
After
that.
all, Rosewater was my refuge when I lost everything else. I just made an offhand comment to that effect one day while discussing arrangements with the general. And he said, well, in that case, why don't you bring Rosewater with you? When I found out he made that the official title of the project, it made me smile, I'll admit.
Well, luckily he doesn't seem nostalgic enough to want to go back, because we did blow it up a little bit. Like a somewhat that has happened. I'll ask him about that.
I'd like to know your perspective on the Lamplight City Expo incident.
That was a dark day. Everything I worked for came crashing down in a matter of seconds. Being maligned and ostracized was bad enough, but I can still hear the screams of those 15 poor souls. If anything good can be said to have come from that horrible event, it taught me that nothing in this life is guaranteed.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
The lab assistant. Looks like some...
Can I go in there?
I don't think I'm allowed in there.
It starts to sound like I should knock everyone in this room unconscious and then do something.
Pardon me.
Sorry, can't talk right now. If you've got any questions...
Doesn't feel like... Can I leave? Will it actually let me leave?
That was really something.
So Laporte's got Clark developing etheric weapons for the military. This throws a wrench in Shaw's plans.
Despicable. Typical military. Working in secret to secure for itself awesome powers of death and destruction, without the knowledge or consent of the people. Perhaps Dr. Clark will be willing to abandon this project and turn his ambitions to something less wicked.
Perhaps. But I can't just ask him with his assistant right there. Maybe I can get her to leave the testing chamber so I can have a moment alone with Clark.
If only we had some sort of aethericity pistol.
Some kind of little oven for heating food, I think. This thing is in dire need of repairs. This must be the door to Dr. Clark's quarters.
Feels like a logical leap.
The box is full of odds and ends. Some sewing and personal grooming supplies.
Is this lamp... I guess these are supposed to be sun lamps because they're just pointed directly at plants in weird spots in the room.
A set of encyclopedias. Just some clothes and a couple of storage boxes. Just some...
Can neither close the wardrobe nor take anything inside. It's a weird middle ground. What's this?
Looks like a more complex version of the console back in Clark's desert lab. Controls, gauges, and dials. Who knows what they're for? These tomatoes are thriving. Must be all the exposure to ethericity. These tomatoes...
They will make you go blind, but otherwise they're pretty nutritious. Oh my god, stop me. I want to talk to you. Stop it.
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley?
How do you suppose they managed to build a place like this under an island?
Don't know, but whoever did it must be real serious about Dr. Clark's research.
Can't think of anything to ask.
Great. This appears to be...
Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into.
I don't actually know.
It would be wise to avoid doing that right now.
I guess they have wax cylinders. They already have, like, audio recording technology. Otherwise, it would seem weird to assume that this is a microphone.
These crates are all marked Rosewater.
Like the ones we saw on the wagon.
As we suspected. This confirms they were headed for Project Rosewater.
I mean, does it confirm that, or does it just further support it? Hang on. So whatever this is pick upable?
A couple of wires from that food heating device.
Well, I can't use it to try and repair that. So I can't leave through there. Oh yeah, what are these? I meant to check.
Bars of aurum. Lots of them.
Why would they need that down here? I get that they needed to, like, fund the project, but, like, why would they just keep it? I guess they could just send someone to town on a boat and buy more supplies or something.
An etheric generator. It's big and loud.
What? I should be able to tell
Caution,
Danny to just, like,
in progress.
shoot the assistant, right? well, I could try to push through here. I don't think I'm going to finish the game tonight. And at that rate, I feel like I should probably save more for a full stream. I'll try to have something set up for tomorrow in case it's only like half a stream. I really have no idea how much this game is left. I feel like we should be pretty close since we found Dr. Clark, but it doesn't seem like an immediate solution. Like, I think it'll definitely take more than like a half hour, and I don't really want to like go crazy. Closer than you think. That's probably true, but I still don't imagine it's like immediate. Unless I really do just tell Danny to shoot everyone, but the game has made it difficult to do that, if that is the goal. It would be, like... I know that doesn't, like, sound like a particularly interesting way to end the game, and it's not, but, like, I still kind of, like, want to believe in a world where, like, someone makes an adventure game where, like, that sort of thing is, like, possible. You, like, get to the end of the game, you're like, I'm so opposed to this, I think I would just shoot all the scientists. The game's like, okay, go for it. This may not come as a surprise to you if you've been watching this stream. I'm not a huge fan of most of the direction that we've taken. I think overall, based on the experience I've had with the game so far, which definitely seems like the majority of it at this point, I just... Not all of the decisions that it's made that are in defiance of like adventure game genre conventions are like inherently bad. Several of them are things that maybe I don't love, but like they're not necessarily like bad. I liked it a lot more before the excessively long road trip. I would agree with that. I'm not even opposed to the idea of the road trip. I didn't really like the execution of the road trip. That like... I don't know. This game plays it really fast and loose with the concept of consequences. Like, there are some things that it's really harsh about. Like, you make, like, a random decision on a side trip and you, like, lose all your money. Or, you know, you, like, try and cut down a guy because it seems like time is of the essence. And in so doing, you just, like, stab him in the leg and one of your companions is like, that was really stupid. You should have, like, asked me to throw the knife. Instead of him just being like, hey, you got a knife there? I'll throw it because that's my skill set. Like, almost all of the puzzles since we've gotten into town have been pretty frustrating. We haven't done too much here on the island. I think that key puzzle is pretty stupid. Especially because, like, lockpicks are, like, a major part of the game, allegedly. The sheet ghost and trick shooting, those both seem like fine ways to get past the guard. I don't know why you can't just have that conversation with your characters in the room. I mean, I understand that you don't want him to overhear you, but I also know it's a video game and we can sort of bend the rules a little bit for the sake of the game being a little more playable. Personally, I'm fine with that. Maybe your mileage will vary. And I don't know. Like, it feels kind of like arch and cartoonish, this, like, laser gun plot. I wasn't necessarily expecting some, like, groundbreakingly unique thing to be happening in this lab, but, like, I don't know. It just seems both super front door and also, like, wildly anachronistic for this alternate period of history. Like... We still use, like, mostly gas lamps in this world, but, like, we have a functioning, like, Aether computer and, like, a self-contained laser pistol. Like, that's a bit of a stretch, don't you think? Like, I get that it's, like, kind of a sci-fi energy resource, but, like, we're literally talking about, like, advancing technology, like, more than 100 years based on, like, one dude's fringe basement activity. That's a bit extreme, don't you think? And, like, I don't know. Like, maybe I got my hopes up by likening the idea of, like, assembling a posse and, like, them clearly having, like, backgrounds that lend to different skill sets to being, like, the soft, like, role-playing party-style system that Unavowed had. But, like, I really feel like we missed a lot of opportunities with those relationships. Like, I think the road trip would have been a great time to like present you with like multiple scenarios where you have to divide the group in different ways, and like assigning skills to different tasks would like lead to solving problems differently. Like that could be a really interesting way that like both mixes up a standard adventure game narrative and adventure game mechanics while still largely working in that framework of like point and click adventures and working with your inventory. But like it mostly just seemed to be like a thinly veiled conceit to get to this point where they like shoot your favorite character and then have Jake run away because they want to keep confining your resources. But like for the most part, those characters weren't even reliable, like useful resources in a lot of situations. So like it feels weird to like go so far out of their way to like hamstring us. Like I don't know. I think overall I would say that this game started pretty strong and like had a lot of potential. And my impression is that like largely by nature of trying to develop this in like self-contained segments, it sort of fails to achieve a larger story or even like coherent sense of the characters and their relationships, which I think would have been necessary to elevate it to a higher level, since this game doesn't focus super strongly on like novel creative like puzzle concepts. Like this game very much wants to focus on its narrative, but at the end of the day, I don't know that the narrative is by itself doing anything that's like so exciting or intriguing or unique that it is in a that it's like well positioned to completely throw off all semblance of like reasonable gameplay. I've certainly played worse adventure games, but like we're a little bit in the zero time dilemma like threshold of like I find myself disproportionately annoyed with this game because it was doing so much right in the beginning and clearly had some good and interesting ideas that would set it apart and make it interesting, but ultimately it just doesn't deliver on that promise, which is frustrating. But like, yeah, I mean, the puzzle solving, even where it exists, is really uneven. Some is like extremely overt, and like some of it is like hopelessly obtuse. Like you could criticize me in the comments, be rude if you need to, but like I don't think that's a particularly good puzzle. And you know, like I said before, I don't think I would love that puzzle, but I don't honestly think you have to do very much to turn it from like a god awful puzzle to like not a great puzzle. But like in its current form, I think it's just really miserable. It does very little prompting and wants you to make some pretty big leaps, and like provides like at the same time like a bunch of like weird like distractor clues that like don't end up contributing to anything of interest but make it much harder to figure out something that's like already not very intuitive. It's been a disappointing journey. Anyway, I'll wrap it up here for this stream for tonight. Before we sign off, of course, look at all this. Look at the splendor of this room. Look at all of these Easter friends and some vaguely Easter adjacent friends. Among them, I have of course hidden some number of secret Squirtles. Finding a secret Squirtle in this way will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So I encourage you to look around and see if you can find where some Squirtles might be hiding. If you were here for my rant at the start of the stream, you know that my feeling is that we could all use a little bit of Squirtle luck. Any chance of getting to see Big Vaporeon? Sure, I'll bring it back out. You all look at the room. I'll go get it. I set it in my bedroom, which is just across the hall, because I felt bad about putting it away so soon. Vaporeon. Obviously has the big mermaid tail. Obviously has the mermaid fin collar. Has big floppy ears that like absolutely won't lay straight at all under any circumstance. And the head fin is pretty much decided that it lives leading to the right. I don't know how you're meant to stop that from happening because it just came right out of the box. It was already like really heavily dented, but like, that's just how a Vaporeon do. Anyway, yeah, was trying to get this for a really, really long time, for like years. My sister got me Big Sleeping Eevee for Christmas years ago, and then like maybe a year, I think a little less than a year after that, they put the other evolutions on sale. But by the time I found them, the Vaporeon was already sold out. But I got Flareon and Jolteon, who you may have seen around for years. I don't use them that often because they take up a ton of space. But yeah, I had them, and I was like, gosh, it'd be really nice to have Vaporeon and just have all the original evolution set. And then I was complaining about it on a recent Rosewater stream, and my sister happened to tune in, and then like became aware of the Vaporeon going back on sale, which was crazy because the reason I was talking about it on stream is they had like removed its listing page. I was like, I guess that means they'll never sell it again. And I finally like stopped looking for it. And then like a few days later, my sister was like, okay, so I'm sending you Vaporeon. Because they just like restocked it. Yeah, my family is great. My mom does things like get me this giant bee that I requested, and my sister got me half of my big Eevee collection. How likely is it you'll get the life-size evolutions? It's $400. Sadly, the answer is not zero, but it's like really close to zero. Like I'm trying to find a way that I can like justify making it a tax write-off, which like doesn't really offset the cost of buying like a $400 Flareon that I don't have room for, but it's just really cute and funny. But like, what am I gonna do with it? And it costs $400. They did that with some of the Comfy Friend plushies. Get their pages removed and they'll go back and stock. It's so confusing. You'll hug it. I mean, yeah, but it's like $400. Now, all the big evolutions are cute. They all have like some like little joints that like tear open really easily, which bums me out. But that's just, none of us is perfect. But some of us is a big sleeping Vaporeon with a giant tail, like a big floppy tail. All right, let's take a look at some of these guesses. I don't know where Vaporeon goes in all of this. Let's see. I'm gonna not break the stream and just like open chat on my phone because some of them scrolled up already. What's the fastest way to do this? This I'm pretty sure. Great. Okay. Saw BFF. Pirate Sand Shrew. I think the rest of these are here. Behind the bee. Lots of bee guesses. We got pirate guess. I didn't see one from Demolition. Sometimes Demolition does not guess if there's no Pikachu. That's okay. All right. I'll give it pour out. I don't know. Sit. All right. Pirate Sandshrew. No Squirtle this time, but another Pokemon. There was an observation that there weren't many. There was a hidden Jigglypuff. And behind the BFF, again, not a Squirtle this time, but it's my reliable old friend Bear. You guessed that the theme would be buddies. I feel a little bad. I honestly thought this theme was like so obvious that I could get away with not putting one behind the bee, even though I really badly wanted to do it. But it was doubles. I got 2 Triceratopses, I got 2 Chocolate Bunnies, and I got 2 Winnie the Poohs. And I even arranged them in like a mirrored pattern to try and emphasize it. Emphasize it. As an example, and I want to show this off because I want to show you this one particular bunny. Look at this. Look at this bunny named Button. It's a perfect little blue bunny that has a little basket with the Easter egg in it. It's just like the perfect size, and he's very happy. I really like this guy. But yeah, inside this new Triceratops, there's a little Squirtle. Easter egg is cute with the flowers, right? The little flower pattern. Glad you could pick that up. Wait, what? What's the question? Is it, how is that Triceratops an Easter basket? Because my mom will always find a way, much like life, something dinosaurs. Look at him ride that Triceratops. But like, yeah, I don't know. This bunny's like very, like, all these things are cute. We got this like carrot ballerina latte rabbit. It's pretty good. This chocolate bunny's also an Easter basket. But like this guy, I don't know. It's just he's just very carefully thought out, I feel. Oh no, I dropped him. Oh no, that's. Good enough. The tag is holding it up. I also love that the bunny is named Buttons. That's just a really good name. Does he have a secret handle? He does. I'm not gonna get back up, but he does. It's so the dilemma here is that like in recent years they've started making more like cute plush Easter baskets, but like they always make them like really small. Like these like early dinosaur ones were like pretty good like basket size, but like anyone that you seem to find now has like very little like storage space. So like I don't know, they're very cheeky with that. There's also a handle inside this guy. We could take a look at them tomorrow. I'll try to remember to put something on top of them so that it will draw your attention to them. I may not do this, but I'll try. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed me sitting angrily in a hallway for like an hour and like mumbling about how that's not how I would describe hand gestures. I think we'll probably finish this game tomorrow, depending on how long that takes. I think it would make more sense to start Blueprints than to go into Old Skies halfway through a stream. Those are the two games I'm most likely to start playing. So I'm gonna try and make a little time to just like make sure I can get Blueprints running. If you haven't heard of it, it's like a roguelike where you sort of assemble a house as you go through it. I joked a little bit earlier about how like, oh, if we like stay the night in this like haunted house, then we'll like keep it for as per our uncle's will, because it's like a meme from like horror movies, but that's like kind of what's going on in Blueprints. Like it's not like staying the night in a spooky house. It's just that like I think it's like left to you when your grandfather dies, and he's like, I think you have to like find like the 47th room in the house or something, and so like you have to like find puzzles and solve them and unlock secret locations. And I saw like a demo played like a year ago, like way before the game came out, and I don't know how much has changed since then, but like it seems really interesting. It's like a rare instance of like a largely narrative themed roguelike. Some roguelikes have like story elements to them, but like it seems like there's like one pretty coherent story that's like a focus. Anyway, there's a good chance we start playing that tomorrow. So this is a roguelike. It seems like it's easier to fit in just like a little bit of it, and then I think we'll be like tag teaming that and Old Skies for a while. Old Skies has been getting some pretty good reviews. That's a game I've been waiting for forever. That is from Wajidai Games, and it's a time travel adventure game, and you hopefully know how I feel about those, which is basically you might hate time travel like movies because it's really hard to get a satisfying resolution to them, but time travel adventure games tend to be extremely good because they allow for really interesting puzzles that you can't do in other scenarios. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. We'll be back, my plush friends and I, tomorrow. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and remember that you are clawsome.